That is a beautiful day. The All-State Red River Rivalry, number 121 between Texas and Oklahoma, 97 straight years here in Big D. Already there's been action in that tunnel that the teams use to exit and enter the field. Oklahoma, 11 of the last 16, 5 of the last 7. They come in undefeated and a slight favorite at kickoff. Texas already with 2 losses, Kirk, really in must-win mode as the Sooners, the visiting team today, get set to take the field.
You always hear players and coaches from both sides talking about this tunnel and what it's like.
All the legends who played here, the great history, but very few of the matchups have had more subplots, Kirk, and more intrigue counting down to kickoff than this one. Brent Venables upgrading his quarterback, John Mateer, a huge part of the offense, the heartbeat of the team, from questionable to probable. Watch him throwing warm-up, zipping the ball around. That thumb surgery was just 17 days ago. Throwing's not the issue for him.
Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks into the season, he was the story. And then, of course, the injury, the surgery, which surprised everybody. And then everybody wondered, when would he be back? How soon could he get back? And here he is. You know, a few weeks later after the surgery, everybody fired up to see if he can, in fact, go. I knew you were here. I was flying over. You were down the field. It looked like he was throwing it really well, had command. Brent Venables telling us all week he's had zip on the ball. He manufactures so much. He creates so much. That's the question. Can he do it?
Stephen Shin's a star surgeon in L.A. These are the various ways you can repair a broken thumb. They're not saying for sure where the fracture occurred on that right thumb of Mateer. We do believe that example 3, he actually said to a guy at Chipotle it was 3 screws, so he kind of tipped his hand, pun intended, and that's what that looks like. But it's way ahead of the normal timetable for return. Drew Brees had the surgery, couldn't come back for 5 weeks.
I'll say this, nobody would put him out there from Oklahoma if he weren't ready to go. Even if he said, I gotta go, I gotta play, they wouldn't let him play. So he's been cleared, feels like he's good to go. And here comes a desperate football team in the Texas Longhorns.
You're right, Kirk. Sarkisian called it a cool opportunity to silence the doubters. They're so used to being the hunted. Now, unranked, they are the hunter in this game. And he hopes that his team will respond to a really poor performance, a loss in Gainesville last week.
Yeah, it's incredible to think. I don't think I can ever remember a team that started preseason up at the top and, 5 weeks later unranked. They're going to take the field as an angry team in this rivalry.
Looking for improvement in all areas. Obviously, Arch Manning in the spotlight, will focus plenty on him. But this Texas defense, a strength coming into the season, was cut apart by the Gators.
And it doesn't make any sense when you have Arch Manning, one of the best play callers and designers in Sark. But the key is they've had 4 new offensive linemen. They've been beat up in the backfield. They've had DeAndre Moore, one of their top receivers, out. They're hoping to get healthier today, hoping to find that really difficult rhythm and flow to the offense that they have not been able to find through the first half of the season.
Now, just a spectacular stage where legends are made, as are lifelong memories. The Sooners and Longhorns. Can't wait.
It's the greatest game in American sport. This game is so special.
Don't you ask for more wild stuff?
Right in the middle of the Texas State Fair, there's a game. A game that's been on the calendar longer than we've been alive.
This century-old college football rivalry.
100 years of pride and tradition. The river runs between us. The fight runs through us.
This is vintage OU Texas. This is what it's about.
It can make your Saturday or ruin your whole damn year.
What happens on this field of this rivalry is remembered forever.
That's the Red River Rivalry.
Appreciate Glenn Powell. You can see his Hulu series. Chad Powers. Holly Rowe on the field with Brent Venables.
Well, Coach, given that your quarterback, John Mateer, has been cleared, what's your plan at quarterback today?
Yeah, he'll start.
What, if any, limitations will you have on the play sheet with his thumb surgery?
Yeah, no limitations. The game will, will obviously take that, but no limitations.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. And guys, we were able to watch John Mateer in his pregame warm-up. He is wearing a Velcro tab around his wrist that gives his thumb, the base of his thumb, some extra support. But I can tell you this, his spiral was tight. I saw him go to the 50-yard line, throw deep into the end zone, tight spiral, and I think he is doing a great job in pregame warm-ups. He did not seem to be in pain when he was taking snaps or making these throws. We'll see how long he's able to play in this game today. Thank you.
Yeah. Ben Arbuckle, the play caller, Kirk, said no limitations, which means they'll run the ball plenty. And for Arch Manning, can he get out of his own head, to use the phrase that many have talked about, and just play with some freedom today? It's getting some very good defense.
I like that, play with freedom. I think that's what Sark's been really challenging him to do, and there's been so much outside noise. Nothing that he's done, but just trying to live up to those expectations. He's a human being, right? And I think he's felt that. I almost think he looks paralyzed at times, trying to execute their pass game. See if he can turn it loose today in this rivalry game. Yeah, protection in front of him, a serious issue. Give up 6 sacks to the Gators. Of course, the great tradition here, 11 national titles between them. Heisman Trophy winners all over the place. It's been Oklahoma's elite quarterback play. 6 guys starting in the NFL who are at Oklahoma have helped them have the edge in recent years. And Mateer trying to be a part of Oklahoma lore. If he comes in 17 days off surgery, starts, finishes, and wins, he will live forever in Oklahoma lore. You're right about that. When I heard the news this week, he might be out here. I mean, first of all, we've gotten to know him a bit. He's one of the most competitive guys that you're ever going to kind of run into. So it's not shocking, but congrats to the doctor, Dr. Shin, and everybody that put a lot of work into it to get him ready to go. And let's see if he can hold up for 60 minutes.
Scorching hot day in Dallas. Temperatures have bumped up north of 90 degrees. Feels like 94. We had the intensity in this. Stamina will be an issue. Texas won and deferred. You're going to see the offense led by John Mateer momentarily. Will Stone to boot it away. Isaiah Satania, the dangerous return man and receiver, transfer from Arkansas, had a big punt return against Kent State in their last game. Waits deep. And the left foot of Stone gets us underway. This will be driven deep into the end zone. All eyes on number 10, John Mateer. Great year at Wazoo after backing up Cam Ward in the 4 games that he did play, Kurt, running and throwing and leading the whole package. He was the Heisman frontrunner, odds makers say, but he got hurt.
And I'm not trying to say he's Baker Mayfield to try to make him have to live up to that, but the way he plays the position with that reckless competitive spirit reminds you of that. And I just can't wait to see how the thumb will hold up and how it impacts Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator, who he was with last year at Washington State, in the approach as an offense. Sounds like they're going to run it the way they would anyway.
Torrey Blaylock, the freshman tailback, is to the right of Mateer. Begin to throw in the first play. Zips it across the middle. Incomplete. It's off the hands of Jaron Kanak, the reliable tight end, has been one of his favorite targets. The guy who was the leading tackler in this game as a linebacker a couple of years ago.
How about that? And here he is, first play. Keep a close eye on it, tight. I mean, if you didn't know he had a surgery, it wouldn't even occur to you. So they come right out letting everybody know they're going to call their offense.
2nd and 10, Blaylock right into a burnt orange wall. And Texas defensive front cut apart by the Gators, but Hiro Kanu, Ohio State transfer, made the play.
And they're going to go fast here, try to get Texas out of position.
Texas had a couple extra guys on the field, and the pass was thrown, and it's caught by Isaiah Satania, who's out near midfield. So Texas trying to get guys off, didn't do it.
What a job by Ben Arbuckle. They're going to have too many men on the field, but obviously a plan that we get up to our first 3rd down, guys line up and get ready to go. Completely caught Texas off guard. And then they're able to go out and execute because Texas secondary, they didn't really know where to line up and who to take. You could see guys trying to get off. They got 13 guys on the field. And you got the 3 receivers right here at the bottom. And Texas not able to account for that trip look.
So 23 yards on the chunk to Satania, who's the most targeted receiver in this rebuilt core. Mateer, design run, keeps it. Did he get the edge? He does. He takes a shot out there from Michael Taft. The safety picks up 5.
See, that's what I think everybody wants to see. Not him throwing the football. because clearly he's been spinning it all week and been cleared to go. But it's the unpredictable aspect of playing the position, and this running and the creativity is such a big part of his game. And you can't just tell him, hey, don't do that. That's how he's played his whole life.
Michael Taft, a big hitter, as well as the cerebral leader of that Texas secondary. He's the guy that changes the defenses on the fly. Here's Mateer changing things up. Following the play clock. Rolls the pocket and zips it across the middle. Wide open is Deion Burks. And the former Boilermaker down inside the Texas 30.
Well, the blitz came from the left, and that's usually where you would see the man-to-man coverage, but nobody picks Burks up. Good job by Mateer feeling the pressure from the blind side and making a great throw.
At 18 more, playing again with tempo, throws to Blaylock, who lowers the head and hammers forward for about 4.
Does this look like an offense that has a quarterback 17 days out of surgery? I mean, Ben Arbuckle, who's been a great story this year with Brent Venables needing to make a hire that could make a difference. Of course, Mateer gets a lot of attention, but Arbuckle, who grew up in this state, knows about this rivalry. He has come out swinging with an aggressive approach.
Like Mateer, he was at Washington State, calling the plays a year ago. 2nd and 6. Direct snap. They actually faked the handoff to Mateer, so a little wrinkle. Didn't really slow down Texas. Picks up a couple yards. Here's the chess match.
It's a good one. We talked about Ben Arbuckle and what he can do. And PK, Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, has been there now for a number of years with Sark. Does such a good job. And right now he's trying to make adjustments. He knew about tempo, but the timing of when the tempo has hit them has maybe caught them off guard.
Texas still has too many guys out there.
Yep.
They made substitutions, but it didn't get communicated, barely getting up before the snap. Xavier Robinson is the back on this 3rd and 5 play. Mateer feels the pressure off his back foot, delivers low and incomplete. So Kwiatkowski brought the heat that time on 3rd down, and Texas gets a stop.
Yeah, they bring 3 weak, 1 too many than the left side of the offensive line can handle. You know, they don't lose their own aggressive nature themselves. When you bring a linebacker here, the tackle gets involved, and then they're free off the edge. So you got 3 guys, only 2 to pick them up. Offensive line, you know, it's easy to sit up here. They would have loved to slid to the left there to be able to help with that pressure, but went to the right with that pre-snap look.
Each team has a portal kicker. Is off to a great start. Tate Sandell has made his last 9, and the lefty from 42 knocks it right through. So Oklahoma, with Mateer looking impressive, drives it 52 yards in 9 plays, and the Sooners draw first blood in Dallas. Arch Manning and the Texas offense, their first possession when you come back. Clear skies above, brought to you by Goodyear. Every legendary moment, still, always, forever. So, big question early. Would John Mateer start? Yes. Would he be limited? No.
Not yet.
Did run the ball a couple of times. 3 of 5 on the drive as they kick a field goal, and now Texas turn. Tate Sandell to boot it away. Ryan Niblett is a speedy, versatile receiver returner for Texas, but he won't have a chance as this goes way beyond. Well, Arch Manning's done some good things. Kirk, he's hit 15 downfield shots. He leads Texas in rushing yards, but there are those 5 picks. The completion percentage actually against Power 4 is one of the lowest among all Power 4 quarterbacks.
You can see 5 interceptions, 2 a couple of weeks or last week against Florida. Guy needs help. You know, he's got 4 new offensive linemen up front. Backs have been injured. They feel that they're healthier this week than they've been all year, but the guys around him got to play well, especially this offensive line against the Sooners' speed that they have up front.
Trey Weiser missed 2 games early, healthy. They fake it to him, and Manning with a screen. Get the ball underneath and run them down the field. We find a tight end there, and it's a big gain. That's a tight end, Jordan Washington, deep in the depth chart. So one of those screens, we'll see a fair number of those today, would you say?
Yeah. The
Home Depot impact players.
We've got DeAndre Moore, who's been going through some injuries. Got to get him the football. 0. Nick Brooks, true freshman, lined up at left guard. Watch him. R. Mason Thomas on the other side. Obvious great. And Kip Lewis, the leader at that second level, number 10.
Oklahoma jumping off. They're pointing at the Texas offensive line.
And I think the rookie, the left guard, may have jumped. Brooks.
False start on the offense, number 71.
We just highlighted him for that very reason. You're a true freshman, abundantly talented, but had to be inserted when they sat KodsterPro last week in Gainesville. And, you know, there's a lot of, I'm sure, energy. There's a lot of games moving faster for the true freshman. He's 6'7", 350 pounds out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So a big coup for Sark to get him, but tough ask out here in this game for a freshman.
No doubt. This rebuild group's had all kinds of problems. Run blocking, pass pro, and plenty of those pre-snap penalties. Oklahoma jumped offside. Manning has a free play, and he's going to be knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. So lots of antsy folks, Kirk. Adrenaline flowing as you'd expect early on here.
Yeah, especially with Oklahoma as aggressive as they are defensively.
Offside on the defense. He was in the new at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
David Smith telling us that Kip Lewis, backer, up close to the line that time.
Yeah, he's cheating up. You know, we talk about the coordinators on the other side. What's great about this, there he is, 10 jumping. The coordinators are the head coaches. You got Sark calling plays for Texas, going up against Brent Venables on the other side. These guys are very familiar with each other. And Sark's going to do everything he can to motion, pre-snap movement, a lot of different formations, try to keep Oklahoma's defense from getting really aggressive and knowing what's coming.
Trying to get the edge. Wisner, and a flag down again back near the line of scrimmage in the offensive line pit.
I think they got the rookie again, this time on a hold. 71.
Was a 16-yard gain, but Brooks.
Holding on the offense, number 74.
That's still 71.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Oh, Trevor Gooseby is the left tackle.
Yeah, but I think the hold's right here. See him grab on. 74, he missed our Mason Thomas. So, like I said, back-to-back struggles here for Nick Brooks, just kind of easing into this game for this Texas offense. We keep talking about arch, and you and I keep saying need help around him. Getting behind the sticks against Brent Venables' defense this year, not recommended.
I know you use the expression, I don't think you ever ease into Red River, right? There's intensity from the very first snap. We've seen crazy stuff in the first few minutes over the years. And there's a tackle behind the line. Grayson Halton combining with Marvin Jones Jr. They lose 4 more, going the wrong way.
Boy, this defense is so quick. Watch the penetration by 56. Halton does a good job of just blowing up the play, and look, he's right there on that left guard. That's why we highlight him as one of our featured players, not just because he's talented, but really can he hold up in the interior, being a young player going against some veterans across from him.
Oklahoma statistically at the top in a lot of categories. They played really 2 real games. Wisner out of the backfield, knocked down. It's going to be third and very long. Kendall Daniels, the cheetah DB, made the play there.
Doing a good job just leveraging the football. Sark has not run as many screens this year. You know, they're just, it's a big part of his MO and who he is, his identity. More downfield shots with Arch. But I think you're going to see them go back, revert back already a couple screens here early with the respect they have for the pass rush from Oklahoma.
3rd and 23 for an offense that has struggled mightily in third down situations. They do flip it to Wisner on the screen, but he's going to be swarmed. Strong series from Oklahoma. A couple of penalties on the Texas offensive line. Daniels made that play. Here comes the punt team.
That's a beautiful thing as a defense when you can just rush 4 and affect a screen. You can see how quick Arch felt the pressure, wanted to get out of there. But the good thing for Oklahoma, playing zone, almost expecting the potential of a screen, third screen in that series alone. Eyes on the football, no chance there of picking up a first down.
41st punt Oklahoma has forced. They've allowed 36 points. Think about that. More punts than points. Isaiah Satania has a little crease, and he's going to give Oklahoma a pretty good field position with that return out across the 45. 41-yard punt, brought it back 11 yards. So many legends on both sides of the Red River. Looking on today from wherever.
SEC on ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule. And in part by Allstate. you're in good hands.
Ducking out early from Eugene.
Yes.
It's become a tradition.
I know, man. We've done it, I think, what, back-to-back years? Pete made the trip. Made it here, actually, with 20 minutes to spare. Just want to thank Kenley Williams and the team, everybody, all the work that went into trying to move me to get me here for a 3:30 kick. Really appreciate it.
The other thing, Andre Ware, he was the emergency guy standing by in case there was an issue.
Exactly.
Him
Thank you, Andre.
Here. Second possession for Mateer. Play fake, incomplete, in and out of the hands, off the carom. Satania had a chance, couldn't quite corral it.
Well, Mateer gets the ball out so quick. Good job of just getting hands on the ball. Good awareness there by Jelani McDonald. That ball came out quickly, but his eyes right where they needed to be, and with those ability with that length to make that great play.
Xavier Robinson is the back. And set out to the left is Keontez Lewis, which is great news. And in the flat, pass is corralled by Robinson. Michael Taft delivered the hit. Keontez Lewis in that last game, we don't have a chance to show you at the moment, but a terrifying collision with the brick wall. Somehow back out there a week later. Incredible. 3rd and 10. Mateer, long throw, and found a man open, and the catch is made for a first down. That's Lewis. Very popular guy in this team.
And that is a popular guy. What a popular throw. Right hash, 3rd and 10, over top of the safety, down to the receiver for a first down.
Mateer took a look. Looks like a design run. He's chased to the edge, and he's not going to slide. He got a dove head first out of bounds. It's going to be a slight loss as Anthony Hill, he patrols sideline to sideline, chased him down.
Look at that throw. Gets it over 29, Littleton, and down to the receiver there, Lewis, who you just referred to. I'm with you, Chris. After that last week, I thought, oh, man, forget football. I just hope he's okay. And here he is out on the field a week later.
5th-year senior in his 4th school, Keontez Lewis.
A lot of blitzes so far from Texas, showing another one here from Hill.
And not bringing it. Mateer steps up, delivers downfield, and it's overthrown. That was Lewis running a go route, but he was bracketed by 2 defenders. Manny Muhammad, the corner, returns for Texas. Look at this collision with the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's, oh, man. And he stayed down, and I think all of Sooner Nation, all of us, just as fans, just thoughts and prayers with him. You can see the team was out. I mean,
he's walking around at halftime somehow.
Yeah, and there he is out on the field in the Red River Rivalry.
Another 3rd and long. They need 11 here. Mateer took a hit. Not hearing the whistle apparently was Kanu.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 4 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's the receiver, Burks, so don't back him up. So hear about the whistle on the field. If you're Kanu charging in there, it is pretty noisy. But they blew it a lot, and he didn't apparently hear that before delivering a hit in the quarterback. Some of the Sooners not enjoying that.
In the NFL, he would have been handcuffed. I mean, watch the knees there on Mateer.
It was salty. These teams got into it in the tunnel as they walked off the field after warm-ups, and that's continued into the game. 3rd and 16. Pressure with 4. Ball out quickly. Catch made by Kanek, and he's knocked down way short of the marker. So just like Texas, it was penalties on the Oklahoma side that really doomed the drive.
And this time, if you're a Texas fan, that was Colin Simmons, who you're kind of starting to see him crank it up. Played a great game last week against Florida, and that time on a big 3rd down does a great job of getting home there without having to blitz. They've been blitzing a lot, but that time sat back and still got pressure just with their front.
And to rebuild this defensive front, lost a couple of great ones to the NFL. Simmons is a guy with 9 sacks a year ago, unquestioned leader of that group at this point. So Grayson Miller trying to pin Texas deep. Niblett standing at the 6-yard line. Very high and short kick. It's going to bounce. And not what he was looking for. Oklahoma able to touch the ball right around the 20-yard line. It's about a 23-yard punt. A backdrop like any other. You got to go near the swine pen is right near where we drove in today. Curious
That's
where that is.
Hanging out the last couple days. Well, the left guard position for Texas has been an issue all year. They're going to try to go with Nick Brooks, the true freshman, who's got a ton of ability and upside. But here a holding call early. Here this quickness and penetration, getting the best of him right into the backfield. So he's just trying to kind of adjust to the speed of the game. Again, really talented player, just put in a tough position against this veteran defense.
A 13-yard completion on the first play, then those 2 penalties that went backwards. Weisner. It's been tough to run on this Sooner defensive front. David Stone, one of those backups, made the play. The Texas offensive line was great, but Banks and Williams, the 2 tackles, were in the NFL. Majors was a 4-year starter, so a bunch of new faces. Only 1 returning starter, that's Campbell. Manning on the move here and flips it over the head. Once again, tried to find Jordan Washington. You know, throwing while running to his left has been a little bit of a problem for Arch this year.
Well, this time the timing was just off. They didn't have anybody out there, especially underneath, to be able to throw the football to. So all he could do is just throw that one away. Yeah, I got a great stat for you. You're giving good stats. This their first or second in 14 defensive categories, but this 48% of their drives that they faced either 0 or negative yards.
Wow.
For the whole drive.
Well, it's 3rd and 12 here. Screen to the edge. Ryan Wingo with a flag down right at the snap. Kendall Daniels brought him down. It's going to be on Texas and declined.
Illegal formation. 5 players or more in the backfield on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now the beat continues for this Texas offense.
And for OU's defense, almost 50%, 5 weeks in, 0 yards on a drive or negative yards. And the first 2 today have both fit that bill where they're just, you know, negative or 0 yards. And this is an elite defense that Brent Venables has this year.
Bowmeister. Pretty good punt. He drives Satania way back to the 24 where he makes a fair catch. So Texas picking up yards on the exchange of punts. 55-yard boot. John Mateer, 6 completions. Has run it a couple times.
Yeah, and I think everybody all eyes on that thumb. First couple passes looked great. Big question is, this guy likes to create. He likes to run the football. How's that right hand taking hits like that from Michael Tafts? But so far, hasn't shown any signs at all that thumb is bothering him. But as the game goes on, the more hits that he takes, it's not throwing it so much, it's the unpredictable moments where he takes those hits and has to fall and brace himself. How's the thumb hold up?
Jaden Ott, transfer from Cal, who had a great couple of years with the Golden Bears. Slow start to his Oklahoma career. He's in the game. They hand it off on an end around to Burks, and Burks slammed down, no gain. You ran into big number 0, Anthony Hill, who had a phenomenal performance against the Sooners here a year ago.
And I think Brent Venables kind of challenging him about what he can do offensively with Jaden Ott getting healthier. Love to see him get more and more opportunities. They really were hoping for him to be a difference maker in that backfield.
A couple of years ago at Cal, 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns.
That's right. What a play by Anthony Hill, by the way, in space. Perfect tackle.
Sunday ready is number 0 in burnt orange. And a slow developing handoff in the middle produces very little.
And I think if Oklahoma is going to get through the gauntlet of games in the SEC, of course, today, and then throughout the rest of the season, Mateer can't be their running game. I mean, the hope is that Jaden Ott gets healthy enough, and the combination he and Blaylock become enough to be able to balance this offense out. But, you know, averaging 3.8 yards a rush, 106th in the country. They just got to get more from the offensive line in the run game, take some of the heat off of Mateer.
See if Texas can bring the heat here on 3rd and 7, not showing pressure, and don't bring it. From the pocket, crosser, catch made, and good enough for a first down to Satania. So they gave him time, and he found a man.
Yeah, and he does a good job of trying to feel that linebacker, gets underneath of him. Good job of throwing that football and giving him a chance to protect himself.
Screen is dropped by Ott on the perimeter. Relentless tempo. You talk about the heat out here. These big guys in Texas. Now they're able to, with the dead ball here, get some fresh bodies out there. It's going to be a factor as this afternoon wears on.
Good point. And it was 4-man rotation there, and you're going to continue to see that. Like hockey lines, trying to stay fresh up front, especially with that tempo. It's a third drop already for the Sooners here in this first half.
Sear has time to make adjustments. Texas this time does bring pressure. Off his back foot, slings it downfield, and it's intercepted. Through a pick to Manny Muhammad, the best cover guy in this Texas secondary. The pressure that time paid off for Texas.
It really did. John Mateer just kind of threw this one up and hoped if he would have been able to really look and see the entire field.
On the offense, number 12, the penalty is declined. Result of the play is an interception for Texas. First down.
But he was covered up by the receiver, Deion Burks-Canick. But if you look, the pressure comes from over here. But if you look down this left hash, he had a chance there to be able to find an open man. But he instead looks, he just kind of heaves it. You can see him jump into that throw. And Texas is able to look at that opening right there. That's his main man there, right, Satania. But instead he jumps, throws it up into traffic. Good job of adjusting back. And there's Malik Muhammad, who missed that game last week with the ankle. Good job with vision on the ball to come up with that interception.
They had to adjust coverages because he wasn't there. That's how important he is. So Texas with a takeaway, set up with a 42. Third possession. The first two have gone nowhere. It was a first down run to Wisner, and against Oklahoma, the way they've been playing, that's a win as they pick up 5 on first down.
It really is. I mean, the way this defensive front plays and as much penetration as they can get, you will definitely take that if you're Texas. Got to stay on schedule.
The second down run. Wisner picks his way, spins free. It's a first down to the 45. Talk about the chess match. Sark and Venables, each guy, so much mutual respect. You can count on them each making wrinkles and changes year to year in this rivalry. They both know it.
Yeah, they know it, and they know each other, and they're trying to keep each other off guard, trying to hide some things.
Manning looking to throw in first down, has plenty of time, nobody open, and now spins it down the middle, and a sliding catch made by DeAndre Moore. The slot receiver who hasn't really gotten going yet this year, but a 24-yard gain.
Boy, does he do a good job of just kind of watch him work through the defense here. Just try to look around, find an opening, find a guy, find an opening. It's like playing basketball and just trying to find a space.
Wisner, it's amazing, Kirk, what happens when you can get the running game going. A flag thrown in from the secondary as Jaden Jackson made the stop. It's going to be on Texas. Just when you say they've gotten some rhythm and some momentum, here comes that penalty marker. It's a serious epidemic.
Yeah, that was a hold this time.
Holding, number 3 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
Not the O-line this time, the receiver, Emmett Mosley.
But if you're Sark, this is what you've been seeing, right? I mean, even when you get something going, you set back. There he is right there, grabbing a hold.
So again, first and very long after the second major penalty and the third overall. Manning has time, now runs out. That's a backwards pass, it looks like. Catch made by Wisner. Dangerous, because if he didn't make that catch, that might have been a free ball.
Good call. That was a lateral. Looks like Gooseby limping there, the big left tackle. And, you know, his receivers are being taken away. You're getting a mix of man and zone. Good to see Gooseby jogging off. He had nowhere to go with the ball, just tries to check it down, but he's got to be super careful. He got hit as he threw that ball, and it was lateral.
He's really been playing the best among the Texas O-linemen, so he's off, and Jaden Chapman replaces him.
So now on that left side, you got a backup left tackle and a true freshman backup left guard against this defense.
Second and 25, it's a screen again, and that's going to go nowhere. Dropped for a loss. Texas using all kinds of tight ends from deep in the depth chart. 4-yard loss there.
Watch Taylor Wine on that edge doing a good job. Again, almost like I said, anticipating that the screen's coming. You go to backup offensive lineman, you got to throw the ball. What are you going to do? It's coming out fast. Really nice play by 44 on the edge.
How do you like 3rd and 30? Art steps up. He's got a mile to go. He's going to be knocked down from behind after a short gain by R. Mason Thomas. Marginal field goal range if he feels like, sending this guy Shipley out for a long one, and he's going to trot out there.
There again is Gooseby, the left tackle's limping off. And I think that's what Arch was thinking, Chris, is the scramble. Can he get just enough yards to give his kicker a chance? And he has done that.
Right at the career long for Shipley, who came from Texas State, before that Oklahoma State. 55 yards to get Texas even. He had driven the ball to the Oklahoma 22 at the start of the series. And this kick will be off the upright and no good. Doinked it from 55. And the Longhorns squander an opportunity. A holding penalty looming very large there.
Plenty of leg. Hit it good. Clean operation. Nice kick.
Had to draw it in and caught the inside of the upright. But again, that penalty on Mosley when Texas had momentum. Manning was beginning to get rhythm, moves them back, and they come up empty.
Yeah, like you said, the running game got the drive started. Something to watch throughout this game is how they do on 3rd down. It was an area last week that was a problem when they went to the swamp. They ended up just 3 of 11 on 3rd down, and so far today in this first quarter, 0 for 3 on 3rd down.
Yeah, Kirk, and 5 for 14 against that elite defense of Ohio State in the opener. It's been a real problem. Robinson off the left side, ducks down for maybe half a yard.
Doesn't this feel it's just going to be one of those games? Usually you come to this game and it's the unexpected, a lot of big plays. You got another man down. Looks like Derek Simmons, right tackle, but it just feels like a kind of a low-scoring field position. Who's going to make the blunder kind of game?
Slugfest early here. Often you see fireworks, but Oklahoma's defense actually dominated Texas's offense in the first quarter a year ago. Texas had 222 yards in the second quarter. Not saying that's going to happen today, but eventually put 34 on the board.
Yeah, it's an offense from Texas. It's, again, searching, going against maybe the best defense in the country. And I'll tell you, Texas's defense has shown up here ready to play, really dialed in, playing with an aggressive mindset with all these blitzes. So I got a feeling it's going to be one of those field position, just low-scoring games. Which quarterback kind of avoids that disastrous play, or which offense can avoid that?
Mentioned Derek Simmons down. Here's a look at what happened on that play. It's at the end. Oh, he just got rolled up on inadvertently, and that left knee buckled. He is now up and hobbling very slowly to the OU sidelines.
They've dealt with injuries themselves with Jacob Sexton and Troy Everett, a couple of 4-year guys that have been around. So Simmons is a transfer out of Western Carolina, so they'll continue to test their own depth up front here.
Among other places, he's bounced around different schools. Luke Beklenko is a junior, a Stanford transfer, would be the swing tackle, would step in on that side.
And remember last year, offensive line and wide receiver. They had top 5 wide receivers out. They had offensive lineman issues of trying to stay healthy, and what that does is, man, it really affects the continuity and the communication, especially in a rivalry game like this with so much movement you're seeing and speed that you're going up against. Really challenges any offensive line, let alone new pieces up front.
So off the long field goal, doink. Oklahoma takes over at the 37, and the seconds tick down. They will not run a play before the first quarter ends. Opening possession, Mateer looked sharp, drove it down for a field goal, and Oklahoma's defense has been stout, holding Texas to 41 yards. End of one in Dallas. Back after this word from your local ABC station. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Time for the second quarter at the Cotton Bowl. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King. This scorching hot day. Difference, well, the long-range boot for Texas about 4 or 5 inches to the left. We're tied, but the doink keeps Oklahoma in front, and Mateer a design run on first down. OU fans out there kind of holding their breath, saying, protect that thumb with those surgically inserted screws, young man.
I'm right there holding my breath, watch him. I think everybody is. This guy's been so good for college football this year. You just hope that that thumb holds up for him. So far, not the same runner in this game. A lot of that has to do with Texas and their defense.
Robinson in motion as a pass protector. Mateer gets it off. Catch made. Taking a huge shot was Carson Kent, the tight end. Picks up 13. They brought the heat again on Mateer.
They brought the heat, and he does a good job. Mateer going up and over a big defensive lineman who actually dropped. Canoe dropped. They showed pressure. They brought it, but they dropped the defensive lineman, Canoe. It's a tough thing for Canoe at 300 pounds to be like a linebacker. Heck of a throw by John Mateer to get that to the tight end. What a catch by Kent.
Sub allows Texas to get fresh bodies on as the Sooners operate in Texas territory. And their freshman Blaylock. Shimmy and shake. Talented guy. Derek Blaylock, his dad, played 7 years with the Chiefs and is a kind of footwork guru. So Torrey's grown up getting some good coaching from dad.
But it paid off right there because that slight hesitation allowed the offensive line to get their blocks established. And another great play by Carson Kent, the tight end, on a block on that second level on the left there.
Blaylock has been the featured runner in this offense so far this season. They fake it to him. Off the play fake, Mateer has lots of time, Nobin to throw to, and just fires it into the bench.
The receiver went down. I don't know if that was an RPO or just a design play action, but if that ball's handed off, he had a lot of room to run there. He just goes down.
Yeah, Keontae Lewis got tangled up in traffic.
But the run game, it's almost like which team can run the football. It's been tough for Oklahoma, tough for Texas. Both need it today.
And 2nd and 10 is a backwards pass to Jimmy Gibson, trying to throw, and does eventually get the ball out to Deion Burks. You don't expect a receiver to buy time and wait for someone to get open, but that's an 8-yard gain.
Heck of an effort there just to get that ball off. I wondered if he'd be able to. You could tell right away because Mateer stepped up towards the line of scrimmage to make sure it was a lateral before he threw that football. I'm surprised he got that out.
Bonnie Gibson showing that he's not just a receiver who says he can throw, he can actually spin it pretty well. Sets up a 3rd and 2. And a timeout taken by Oklahoma as the play clock was down inside of 10. Sooners have been really efficient on 3rd down so far. It's been one of the differences here so far.
Well, if you've never been here to the Red River Rivalry, you don't understand. This is literally split halfway right here at the 50-yard line. On this side are the Oklahoma fans, on this side are the Texas fans, and look who I found in the crowd, Paige Beckers. This is her first one. How cool is this? The stadium is split like this.
It's amazing. I was like, wait, it's Texas fans. Wait, it's Oklahoma fans. So it's everywhere. Real Texas native out here.
All right, I love it. The new Wings #1 draft pick. She's getting her first taste of this rivalry, and it is so cool, guys.
Thanks, Holly. Very few folks dressed in neutral colors today, but Paige, one of them, Mateer, tried to get there on 3rd and 2, and he did not make it because Ty-Anthony Smith shut him down. So 4th down.
Boy, Ty-Anthony Smith did a really good job. I thought he had the edge easy with the way he can run, but Smith came from that middle linebacker spot, and with the edge collapsed, he was able to bounce to the outside there. What a play.
So this is all about the line of scrimmage. The big guys up front on 4th and 1. Oklahoma is an offensive lineman who comes in motion as a blocker, and they hand it off to Robinson, and he plows forward. First down inside the 25.
Yeah, they brought Jaden Jackson and David Stone, both defensive linemen. Stone was playing that fullback spot, and Jackson was the one that made the key block and looked pretty comfortable doing it when he came in motion. That was a great play. Without that block, he's not able to get that first down yardage, so the big boys that come in are able to help out.
Oklahoma keeps grinding away the 28th play that they've run already. more than double what Texas has run. Keep an eye on that as this game wears on in hot conditions. Mateer trying to run. Now look at it throw. Now look at it survive. And just ducks down. A sack by Colin Simmons. Back near the 30, picked up, or lost 5, I should say.
Yeah, a lot of times Simmons, you'll see him on the edge. Sometimes they'll move him around because of the growth that he's made within this defense in his second year. That time playing off ball, just almost freelancing. Let him use his instincts to be able to mirror the quarterback, not let him create, and then close in on him, which is exactly what he was able to do.
First sack for either team. Sets up a 2nd and 15. Laylock is the back. And across the middle, crossing route, catch made again. Like to work the middle. That's Caden Helms, the tight end, who makes the grab. Gets back near the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and long again.
OU substituting, so Texas has plenty of time to respond to that with their own substitutions, get some fresh bodies, get this pass rush cranked up on Mateer. They're walking a lot of people up there. Are they coming or are they going to drop?
They're leaning forward, Kirk, aren't they? Is it a bluff? Mateer checking it out. He's got a few seconds to work with, but not many, and they're going to have to spend a timeout. So a chess game here on 3rd and long, and the Sooners want to talk about it. They definitely had to look like they were coming.
Yeah.
You're looking for those little tendencies.
Oh yeah, they're walking up. They've been doing a good job of walking up and coming, and then other times walking up and just kind of in that mug look, and then dropping a couple guys, just trying to affect the offensive line, confuse the protection, and make Mateer get off his spot.
Sometimes they bring up that 7-up look, and you think, okay, they're just standing there. These guys were kind of leaning on their toes.
Yeah, like a sprinter stance.
Yeah,
they're ready to go. Beautiful with Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons and Trey Moore. They don't have to blitz. So that's why it's a little bit of a guessing game. It's a pre-snap to post-snap, and that's where you rely on the offensive line. You got some backups. We already saw Derek Simmons go down. You got some guys that got to do a good job of communicating, because you don't know what's happening until that ball is snapped.
See if Kwiatkowski's changed the call, Kirk. They're not showing the same level of pressure pre-snap. Empty backfield. Mateer bobbles the snap, has to collect it, and kind of blows the play up. Did well to not lose yardage there, but a lot to think about pre-snap for the quarterback.
Yeah, ball to his left. I thought he had it. Now he's in panic mode. Texas did rush 5. They rushed 5 to create one-on-one opportunities with the stunt. Good job of him just holding on to that thing and keep this within striking distance for a field goal.
Yeah, it wasn't the right hand which had a surgery. It was the left hand that couldn't really grab that. So here comes Tate Sandell. Knocked it home earlier from 42. This from 41. And it is right through. So twice the Sooners move into Texas territory and settle for 3. Longhorns offense trying to get them going. Pair of field goals from Tate Sandell. That's Sooners ahead, but that's John Mateer. That right hand took a shot. He was carrying the football in it and ran into serious traffic and right there.
Right on the hand. And again, you can practice all you want. You think he took hits like that in practice? Of course not. So you really don't know how the hand or the thumb's going to respond until you get in the game. And that's what we keep talking about. Not throwing, but running and taking hits directly on that hand and that thumb.
It's the way that he got hurt in the first place against Auburn.
That's right.
Collision with helmet. Sandell sends it into the end zone, and Ryan Niblett's going to have a go. And going to be knocked down just across the 20. Holly, what do you have?
Well, guys, I can see that black strap. It's like a Velcro strap that wraps around the thumb and wrist of John Mateer, and there's a hole in it. A chunk has been taken out. I can see what looks like his skin has been ripped off and some blood coming out. There's blood all over the back of his pants, so it looked like that helmet that went to the wrist did a little bit of damage on that brace and underneath.
But you can see nobody from the training staff near him. He's sitting with Ben Arbuckle. He's kind of flexing that thumb, but Ben Arbuckle is right there with him. But if there were any concerns, obviously they'd be all over him at this point on that sideline. So despite all that Holly's reporting, he looks like he's still good to go.
Texas offense hasn't been very good so far. Wingo makes the catch on the edge. That's their 14th play. Already 5 tackles for loss by this Oklahoma defense. Eli Bowen, starting at corner today, made the play.
Go back to what Sark told us this week. We have to have success on 1st and 10 against Oklahoma and Brent Venable's scheme. We've got to stay on schedule. So you're going to see Arch with a lot of these quick throws underneath coverage just to get some positive yards.
Eckert 7 for 8, but only for 38 yards. Look out, breaking free. Wisner rumbling into Oklahoma territory. They'll chase him down. But an explosive play by this Longhorn offense, trying to spark things.
Well, R. Mason Thomas on the backside, he actually makes a pretty good play here to get down right there, but he's just unable to finish on the play. And give Wisner, who's been down with a hammy for a few games, a lot of credit for that leg drive there.
And that time Wisner dropped right at the line of scrimmage after that 37-yard run. Exactly what Sarkisian would have hoped for. They've had some productive runs in the early going here.
But even that run was because of 5, right? I mean, they did a good job penetrating, getting into the backfield. It was just how tough of a runner he was there to slip through that arm tackle of R. Mason Thomas. Really great individual effort.
Wisner from DeSoto High School right here in Dallas. This game means a whole lot to him, as it does to so many on both rosters. Christian Clark spells him and picks up very little. So it's going to be 3rd and long. It's again Texas moving the ball, Kirk, but in danger of stalling yet again.
Yeah, another 3rd down here where they've not had any success at all. 0 for 3.
Yeah, the average yards to go in those 3 3rd down attempts, 22. Penalty is a big part of the problem, and of this swarming OU defense, the main problem.
The ball either is going to have to come out or you're going to have to help with the back and max protect. R. Mason Thomas, one of the best in the SEC at rushing the quarterback, will be on the blind side here of Arch.
They can get within field goal range without getting a 1st down. But they need 10. Cannot take a sack if you're Manning. Scanning, trying to make a play through the air, and does deliver to DeAndre Moore, who's knocked down for a 1st down. Converting on the move. Got 14.
Watch how Arch steps up here. There's R. Mason Thomas blind side. Good job of avoiding him. And now you just got to be able to either give the threat of the defense, you're going to use your legs to get the 1st down, or draw them to you, which he was able to do. And then once again, DeAndre Moore helps him out in space.
Now it's OU's defense turn to scramble and get fresh bodies on as Texas cranks some tempo. Pump fake, still got it. Manning on the edge, zips it, incomplete. Get knocked down on the play. And pursuing there was Grayson Halton.
Well, this is where obviously you get down to this red area against any defense. The decisions have to be quicker. The routes have to be crisper. And then you go against this defense and how quickly they move and how much they understand this scheme. The windows are really tight for Arch Manning and this offense.
Just his 2nd incompletion today. Pressure comes and it's picked up. Checks it underneath. Catch made by Jack Endries. And the tight end knocked down inside the 15, just short of the marker. It'll be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards.
You see injuries going here because Gunnar Helm was such a big part of this offense a year ago, just that tight end position. They lost their top 3 with Golden, Isaiah Bond, and Gunnar Helm, and they've needed more production from that tight end spot, and the transfer from Cal steps up there.
10th catch in the season, has a couple touchdowns, but Gunnar Helm impossible to replace. What do they do here in 3rd and 1? Look at a throw for it, and it's caught. A slant. A high fastball is collected there nicely by Parker Livingstone, one of Manning's 4 roommates, and it's 1st and goal.
What I love from Arch here is look where he puts his ball. He puts it, the confidence he has in his roommate to make that catch, he put it out in front of him instead of behind him. Let's lead him to the front, trust him to make the catch with the hands and get the first down.
Tempo on 1st and goal. Wisner picks his way. You better get along well with the receiver if you're going to throw it in traffic and throw it that high. He could be cut in half.
No doubt. No doubt. That's trusted him to make that catch.
It's been a problem, man. The red zone just has not been productive. 13 for 22, 90th in FBS in touchdown percentage.
And in a game what we talked about earlier, you probably see it coming down to a possession here or there. You get these opportunities, they've got to be touchdowns. They can't be field goals.
And a whistle and a timeout taken. Some confusion on the formation. That's a good point, Kurt. They've been dominated. They've had a rough start to this game, but can take the lead if they can punch it in here. College Sports World mourning the passing of SEC Executive Associate Commissioner Mark Womack. 47 years working for the conference, playing a huge role in growing it. We send our condolences to Mark's family, colleagues, and his friends. Texas set up 2nd and goal from the 3, trying to take the lead in the game which OU has dominated. Wisner set back deep. They fake it to a Manning to the end zone. No chance. Fired it way high. Nobody open. Well, Parker Livingston well covered.
He's just late. You know, off of this play action, he was wide open. It's a good play call by Sark. If the ball is out, now it's a touchdown. You can see a late reaction from 3 there, Robert Spears-Jennings, but he just did not come off of that play action, ready to fire that football. If he was, that's a touchdown.
That's a great look, Kirk. That's been part of the problem, right? Not reacting quickly. Hesitation. See if it costs him. 3rd and goal. From the pocket, now on the move, being chased, fires end zone, and a contested ball is broken up. Nice play coming across was Peyton Bowen, and Texas sends out the field goal team.
They played man-to-man. They brought 5. Heck of a job. This is what Arch Manning brings with the athletic ability to try to keep a play alive. Pretty good coverage, but how about that effort right there by Peyton Bowen as a safety? Call that plastering, staying tight to your receiver. 2 plays back-to-back where the Sooners are able to get off the field.
So Texas red zone woes continue. Shipley, who doinked one off the upright, a booming attempt from 55 with a chip shot here. Texas drove it 75 yards, 12 plays, by far the best looking sequence of plays they put together, but could not quite punch it in. Affleck trivia question. The last team to be preseason #1, lose to an unranked team, as Florida was, and then go on to win the national title.
I can't remember if Virginia Tech was unranked in 14 when Ohio State lost to them early, and then they made a run to a national title game. They lost to the Hokies that year at home.
Very early, yeah.
And I can't remember if that was a ranked Virginia Tech or not. They were heavily favored.
That was year 1 of the CFP.
That's right.
They had a late charge, kind of put them behind. It gave them urgency. In those days, took an early loss, you could lose again.
That was it.
No chance.
No margin of error.
Not with the 14 bracket. So after all the work done on Mature's hands that Holly was talking about to stop the bleeding there, he's good to go. It's a disappointing sequence for Texas fans. Moved it really well down there. Manning unable to find Livingstone on that 2nd down play. And then the strong defense on the 3rd. It's a short kickoff, and Satania makes a fair catch.
Well, this first half, we haven't seen a ton from John Mateer because Texas is playing good defense, but here's a 3rd down and 7. Puts the ball in there for a conversion. You can see he holding that thumb a little bit. It's been hit a few times. It's the big concern is right there, the unpredictable moments, the things that you can't really test. You see some blood there. They've been working on it. Holly reported on that. It's the first time he's come back out since that, but doesn't appear to be favoring that thumb at all. Now it's a matter of trying to just execute. Only up 3, only 2 field goals in the first half.
It's Blaylock who motions out. Mateer instead on the slant finds Keontez Lewis. Picks up about 5.
So as you watch this, Chris, I feel in this first half it has more to do with Texas's defense and the effort and the preparation than it has to do with John Mateer and his thumb. I mean, we watched John Mateer for 4 weeks and we marveled at this guy. Holy cow, what an addition he has been to this offense. And so far been contained pretty good by the Longhorns.
And off inside, Blaylock met and hit behind the line of scrimmage. And was Brad Spence, the Arkansas transfer, and a backup edge player.
Yeah, he's back here. You know, he usually does play on the edge, but here he gets a chance to get downhill as a big guy and finish on that play. Again, they're holding up very well at the line of scrimmage. Here's another rotation of 4 new bodies with Oklahoma making their own substitutions. So they're staying fresh and getting that pass rush on Mateer.
Still trying to get organized here, the Texas defense. Play clock at 5. Just do get it off. Mateer pressure from the pocket, delivers a low throw, an accurate one, and Deion Burks goes down and grabs it, and they move the sticks.
Yeah, Ben Arbuckle would tell you that the area that John Mateer has improved the most from his time when he had him at Washington State early to now at Oklahoma is his ability to not just want to get out and run. Early in his career, when things got muddy, he would just take off and go like a lot of athletic guys. Now, there's a willingness to not give up on plays and make throws like that.
Burks, a gritty, tough receiver who plays bigger than his size. He's just 5'9". And now Blaylock breaking tackles, lowers the shoulders, and gets out near midfield. Picked up 11.
Well, now that offensive line, one of the few times we've seen them establish, get the line of scrimmage, and then climb up to Anthony Hill and get a helmet on those linebackers. That's all 6 needs. He doesn't need a lot of room. He's got great suddenness for a true freshman, plays with great maturity.
Before that run, the Longhorns had not allowed a run longer than 5 yards in this game, and now the pre-snap misfire.
The right
against Oklahoma.
Yeah, the right guard. Seems like just when either of these offenses get a little bit of something going,
5-yard penalty.
Take them back.
First down.
Whether it's false start or holding, whatever it might be. I mean, both these offenses have been getting behind the sticks.
It's the 3rd 5-yard penalty on OU. A little eager there. Tabechi Wiwu.
And he's playing with a backup right tackle next to him, Buklinko, with Simmons still down.
2-minute timeout. Exchange of field goals. Sooners trying to add to a 6-3 lead. Texas will get the football to begin the second half. Two minutes to go. 1st and 15 for Oklahoma. Just saw their starting right tackle, Derek Simmons, walk up the tunnel. Luke Buklinko continues to fill in for him on that right side. Mateer on the move, gets a block on the edge from Kanik. The tight end does his job, and Mateer, despite the treatment of that thumb we just saw, takes off running and picks up 10.
Yeah, that's that competitive spirit. Good job there on that zone read. You saw the edge there collapse. He's able to get around that and get some positive yards. He has been really, really good on 3rd downs. Let's see what happens here on 2nd and 5.
Slant, another dart. Boy, does he throw those underneath routes accurately. Burks again went down low to get it.
And go back to the previous play where he made this run. You know, he's got to take care of that. When he gets out in the open field, did a good job of protecting himself, how he lands. Yeah, he's not letting that right hand get close to the surface. Not only is he dealing with Texas coming, you know, down on him, hitting him, he's thinking about, I'm not going to land on this right hand when I go down.
Final minute now of the first half. Blaylock wrapped up and wrestled down by Murad Watson.
Oklahoma just wants to obviously get into field goal range, hold on to that one last timeout that they have. Not really super urgent.
Not urgent at all. Pump fake, throws it underneath, and Satania in traffic somehow finds some space, kind of wiggled free, and gets down near the 30 for a 7-yard gain. Final 30 seconds, clock still running.
Yeah, that screen did not have great timing, but a good effort there. It went from maybe being in field goal range to now, without question, being in field goal range.
If they're thinking beyond the field goal, they're running out of time here.
At this point, they're finally going to call their last timeout.
I mean, they didn't get the first down, came up short, and chose not to spend the timeout and save the time. So it's down to 10 seconds. We'll check in with Kevin Negandhi, previewing what's coming up at halftime.
Chris, State Farm halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Negandhi in studio. How Bama survived on the road, the very latest with Ty Simpson, and why we're talking Heisman. Speaking of Heisman, the favorite right now, that is Dante Moore in Oregon, hosting Indiana here. This is a top 10 matchup, and Moore striking first than Malik Benson.
No doubt. He fakes a little run, throwing it down the field. The Oregon speed starting to show against Indiana.
The physicality of Indiana, Robin Hemby going in.
If you want to know who he is, Google him. Kurt Signetti showing a little power football in Autzen Stadium.
We're tied at 10-all late in the first half. Back to you, Chris.
We don't need a search engine. We know who Signetti is, and they're playing well in Eugene. Interesting sequence. They didn't use the time very well now.
And then they used their last timeout. Obviously can't take a sack. They just want to take a shot maybe downfield, take a shot to the end zone.
If you run a play and you're tackled inbounds, you're going to have a very hard time getting the field goal team out there. Just got to play this smart. Instead, he's going to roll out. Is he going to launch for the end zone? He does. Fires it down there, and it's intercepted. Well, a weird sequence. They were well within field goal range to get 3 points in a tight game. And Manny Muhammad has his second pick of the first half.
Well, I thought they might take a shot, but I obviously didn't think they would take this kind of risk. Muhammad, he's playing on the backside, and I don't know if John Mateer doesn't see him or what. Watch how this rolls. Watch him move to his right. He's looking at this receiver right here, and watch the decision he makes. Throws it up. We've seen both his interceptions where very out of character of him, where he just throws it up, making it easy on Muhammad, who's just sitting there staring at him, to be able to adjust to make the interception. Number 2.
They had plenty of time, as you said, and a timeout to work with as they moved down into scoring position. They did not manage that well at all. It ends up the quarterback having to make kind of a desperation heave to the end zone there.
All things considered, if you're Texas, I mean, they had some breaks maybe go against them. They could easily had 10 points. But 6-3, with the way that half went, that's a win for Texas, and they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they had the field goal doink off the upright early. Then they had a drive stall inside the 10. So 6-3. Steve Sarkisian's down at the break, and he's with Holly.
Well, Coach Sarkisian, your defense, 2 big takeaways. In a game like this, you know how crucial that is. What stands out about the way they're playing?
Well, we're playing the run pretty well. We let the quarterback get out a couple times, but we're stopping the run well, and we're keeping the ball in front of us in the back end.
You started to find some offensive momentum on that last drive. What was it that got you going, and how do you lead into it?
Well, we minimized the penalties. You know, we're moving the ball okay, but we're shooting ourselves in the foot. That last drive, where we're moving the ball on the ground, and hopefully we can find some things in the pass game as well.
Appreciate it, Chuck. Thanks.
Defensive first half. The story to be written in the second half. Manning. And Texas will get the football to begin the third quarter. 6-3 Sooners. Time for the State Farm halftime report. Let's kick it back to our buddy Kevin Negandhi.
Yeah.
Welcome back to this football extravaganza in the middle of a fairground. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King, part of SEC All Day. Brought to you by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Low scoring. First time no touchdowns in the Red River rivalry since 2009 with Colt McCoy, and the Longhorns squeezed out a 16-13 victory. Has that kind of a feel.
It does. It did early.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
It did early, and it's living up to that. I'll say it's a combination of both these offenses trying to still kind of find themselves, find balance, but really, really good defense from both sides. The Longhorns have played defensively like you'd expect, backed into a corner, rivalry game, one loss in conference play. They had to come out swinging, and they did that at least so far for 30 minutes defensively.
Yeah, this defense was challenged so far, has responded for Sarkisian. The offense has had some nice plays, but has self-destructed. Too many penalties. They threatened early, and then penalties backed them up, and by about 4 inches. Mason Shipley missed, doinking one off the upright. Another Texas drive stalled inside the 10. And OU twice settling for field goals. So missed opportunities really what you focus on if you're a Longhorn fan at this point.
Yeah, especially what could have been with an offense in a game that's going to be so close. This is the kick that you're referring to. Just right off the upright, very easily could have been 3. This is a 3rd and goal. What we're not showing you is a 2nd and goal where he misses a wide open receiver. That was a great effort by Peyton Bowen to knock that one away. So they very easily could have 10 points up on the board, instead down 6-3.
No success for Texas running the ball on first down. 6 tries, 6 total yards. Looking to throw. Manning has to dodge pressure and checks it down to Wisner out of the backfield. He took a huge shot. Heavy pressure there from Taylor Wine.
Well, Taylor Wine's having a football game. The first pressure by McKenzie, like you said, made him step away. Good job of feeling 11. But by the time he gets recovered from avoiding that blitz from the linebacker, 44, who's had that, like I said, a great first half off the edge, steps up and gets him to get that ball out early.
Without plays like that and the Gators' victory over Texas last week, just no chance at all. Wisner runs it for about 7, so it makes it 3rd and short here. Daniels has had an active day, made the stop.
And Sark told us that he's got to be very patient, play complementary football. This game right now is only a 3-point game. No need to panic. No need to just throw the ball every single time. Stick to what you know. Underneath, easy completions, run the football, field position, and then get into the 4th quarter and find a way to win it.
Texas doesn't use 2 tight ends as often as they used to. They're in the game now. Wisner kind of hesitated. It didn't cost him. He ends up getting the first down, but sideways step allowed OU to close it down.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of movement there, but just enough to get that first down.
Wisner had a 37-yard run, breaking free in the first half that put Texas in scoring position, and they couldn't cash it in.
Not much at all downfield today for Arch Manning.
Surprised?
And Texas. I thought they might take a shot or two. I mean, listening to Sark, what he told us, I think a lot of it was about completions and just kind of being methodical, but they're going to mix in some shots.
Well, they're trying to mix one in right here, but they run out of time. They attacked the football. It was Mason Thomas, one of the better pass rushers in college football, that got Manning from behind there.
Yeah, and remember, Trevor Gooseby is the left tackle, 74, and he went out early in this game with an injury, and he's going up against the best pass rusher maybe in the SEC, and Mason Thomas. Had a great year last year and does a good job of not only using speed to power, but the bend there to get around the corner for that sack.
There's the frustration. You say, haven't taken many shots. We're going to take one on first down.
Yeah.
Could not hold up in pass pro. Now pitch to the edge. And Mosley gets a little help from his blocking friend out there, the tight end Endries, and gets back a little chunk. It'll set up 3rd and about 9.
Now RPO to be able to just flip it out there to get some positive yards. You said throughout this game, this is a game that's going to come down to a final possession. Every time you get behind the sticks against these defenses, you're in big trouble. Let's see what Oklahoma does here to get the pass rush on Arch.
Not showing pressure. Oh, now they jumped. It's a free play. Thomas was in the neutral zone. It's pitched down, and Wisner breaks free. They won't need the penalty as Trey Wisner bangs into Oklahoma territory. Picked up 13.
Taking advantage of the free play. It's even though it's just a check down.
32 on the defense. He was in the neutral zone at the snap. That penalty is declined.
Robert Spears.
Play. First down.
Robert Spears Jennings unable to make that play in the open space. This is what Texas wants. Yards after the catch. Big emphasis this week. Guys, we're going to be throwing it underneath a lot. That means you've got to make a play after you catch the ball. And that time you saw exactly what you needed there for Texas and Wisner. Yards after the catch for the first down.
Yeah, just enough. It's his 4th catch. Handoff inside. Wisner is a runner. Turns the corner and slams downhill. He's to the Oklahoma 40 for 9.
You're starting to see some movement. Brandon Baker, the right tackle, helps sealing that edge. It's nice to see a Texas running back be able to run downhill You don't see that very often.
We said how much they'd struggle on first down runs. That was by far their best play. And Weisner this time running left, turns it up for another chunk. For Heinicke, he got him, but 9 more, Kirk.
How much has this offense missed Weisner in that backfield? They've had so many injuries with Weisner and Baxter, their 2 best backs. The back-to-back plays there was a good job of getting movement, but on that last play had as much to do with Weisner putting his foot in the ground, finding that grass on the backside and making that cut.
They spell him. He's out of the game, and they hand it off inside to James Simon, the true freshman. Sark said he was going to have to be careful of the pitch count with Weisner. No C.J. Baxter, so Weisner had to carry the load, but in a day like this, he wanted to keep it fresh for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's got 12 carries so far, and all the other backs combined only have a couple carries. So, and he makes such a difference when he's in there.
Total of 16 touches with the 4 catches that he's got. They try Simon again. Jaden Jackson plugged it up.
DJ Williams, the only returning offensive lineman, 52. He's out there limping around, trying to gut it out as a good leader. 36 start. You can see he's not feeling good. He's going to stay out there limping around. Rivalry game. He can't go out. Senior.
Love it. They need 4 on third down. Manning was looking for a slant. It wasn't there. Now he can run and pitches it back across and converts to Ryan Wingo. Had some space, probably would have gotten there, but saw Wingo break free late.
And the offensive line does their job. I mean, really, there's no reason for Arch Manning to get out of there. He ends up being creative. Good job of coming with his vision, finding that receiver to the backside once he broke contain. And it's maybe the 4th time we've seen his receivers work well with him when he gets out of the pocket. But I tell you, the offensive line did a pretty good job there against that pass rush on third down.
Back in the red zone. Weisner, hesitation, and picks up about 4. So tough to score. The Sooners have given up just the 3 touchdowns this season. Michigan got 1, Auburn got 2. That's it. In 5 games.
Incredible. And the big question, like we talked about last time when they were down here, can they finish this drive? Not just issues with how good Oklahoma's defense is in this area, but their own issues. And what they've dealt with, 86th in the country in a red zone touchdown percentage coming into this game.
2nd and 7. Fake it to Weisner. Manning on the edge, retreating, and fires across the middle. Catch made over the middle by Jordan Washington, but a very short gain. Manning had to backpedal right away.
You know he's always a threat. That's the difference in the offense this year than what it's been with Quinn Ewers the last couple of years. Quinn was so effective from the pocket and being a distributor. Arch, of course, with the athletic ability, brings the edges into play, whether it's designed like this or when we've seen scramble, how quickly he gets outside of this pressure. Better keep an eye on him here.
Lost a yard in that completion, so 3rd and 8. Empty backfield. Weisner is far to the left. Manning looking to the left. Zips it to the end zone. Touchdown! DeAndre Moore. They turned him loose. He kind of looked the ball into his hands, and Texas is on top for the first time today.
You know, I wonder how much that motion with Weisner out of the backfield affected the communication on the back end. Because watch Weisner, now you got an empty set, and just look in the back end of the Oklahoma defense. Now all of a sudden, now you got 3 receivers out there, and it's just a miscommunication. Neither safety. You see Bowen kind of lifting his, kind of shrugging his shoulders, looking over to say, hey man, you got to help me out there. That was Kendall Dolby who he was looking over at. Dolby hadn't played much this year, overcoming an injury, but a miscommunication on the back end and a touchdown for the Longhorns.
Bobbled it a bit, then had to get those feet down. He had 7 touchdowns a year ago. That's the first for DeAndre Moore this season. Important component of this offense that they can get him going out of the slot. And Kirk, Texas on that drive, 4 for 4 on third down after all the troubles in the first half.
Yeah, good adjustments, good job of executing, and I think there was any difference there. Number one, Arch looked great. Isn't it amazing when the offensive line plays better and the running game is a little bit better, how it's not just all on number 16? And he made a couple plays there scrambling. I mean, that was a great drive, and then takes advantage of the bust on the back end.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 52 on the offense. Personal foul, number 56 on the defense. Those penalties offset. Result of the try, it's good.
Campbell for Texas, Halton for Oklahoma. That you're at the drive is as good as anybody's done against Oklahoma all year. Better, in fact. 14 plays, 75 yards, more than 7 minutes. And his dad, Cooper, not wearing the big 10-gallon hat that he had last year. Venables' defense finds himself behind now by 4. Middle of the fairgrounds, the All-State Red River Rivalry, number 121 from the Cotton Bowl here in Dallas. Hosted the last 97 of these. And Texas is on top for the first time. First touchdown this afternoon. Manning to Moore. Satania calls fair catch. They got the ground game early in the drive. Then Manning 6 for 6 for 45 yards on the touch.
First time they've been ahead. If you go Ohio State, Florida, Oklahoma all year, first time they've been ahead.
Good point. And Mateer and OU respond after this.
SEC on ABC College Football, presented by Burger King, is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands.
You get all the food here. They do have some healthy options. That a beautiful Wagyu burger and a biscuit.
I can't believe that. That was a surprise.
High-speed highlights brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
John Mateer, the big question, how would he perform today? Couple interceptions, and both times just kind of throwing it up into traffic. This is where his right thumb got tested. Really can't do this during the week, but a helmet right on the hand. They went over, made some adjustments to it. He's not missed a snap. This is right before the first half. Another one, he just kind of threw up into traffic, blew an opportunity at a field goal and a chance to get another 3 points up on the scoreboard.
Well, Texas finally got their ground game going a bit. Oklahoma has yet to get things rolling on the ground. Mateer looking to throw on first down. Pump fake and throw it into traffic, and it's almost intercepted. Jelani McDonald, who is a takeaway artist, was tracking that thinking pick 6.
Yes, he was. And there wasn't a lot of spacing on this route at all. So it brings him down right here with a chance to cover 2 guys. And Mateer, because of the pump fake, drew him into the area. And then that's just McDonald being a really good athlete, almost coming up with a game-changing play there.
Leads the team in takeaways, already has a couple interceptions. Now Mateer keeps it on 2nd and 10, is knocked down after about a 5-yard gain. Holly?
Well, I checked in with Brent Venables of Oklahoma and asked him about the clock management to end the half. I said, how did you think it went? And he said, not good. We don't need to throw into double coverage like that. We had it all planned out that we were going to have a quick throw and then pick a field goal, but he was frustrated with how that half ended. He said, John Mateer's playing well. His hand's okay. He said, but we've got to play better around him. The right tackle's still out, and they're getting a lot of pressure on that side.
You talk about the thumb, that was the focus, but the fact that he hasn't played in 3 weeks, it's not easy to jump into this intensity.
That's fair. He has been pretty effective on 3rd down. 6 of 7 so far with 5 first downs on 3rd down.
Needing 5, Texas only a 3-man rush, so plenty of time. Throws it into coverage, and it's incomplete. Leonga Lafau came across. Diving attempt there. Did he come up with it?
They put it right in his chest. Oh, no, the right hand. The right hand. Satania actually, he didn't touch that ball. And that ball is intercepted. He was expecting Satania to settle down against the zone, and he kept moving across through the zone defense. They were very fortunate that one was not picked off.
Lafau and Hill, 2 excellent stud linebackers for Texas, the 2 leading tacklers on this defense. So Texas get to stop after taking the lead, and Grayson Miller, a low punt. May end up being effective. Yeah, just getting away from it wisely as Niblett got a little too close, but that line drive rolls dead, and now a scuffle. Flags come in, a scuffle well away from where that ball was being downed inside the 10. A helmet taken off of an Oklahoma player.
It got physical early on the Texas side. They had 2 guys on 1, and
David Smith and crew sorting it out. See, the helmet was
right there, and man down.
Taken off the head.
Texas guy goes down.
Boganowski, who wears 25 on special teams. It's his regular number. He's involved in, I think he's the one that lost the helmet. We'll have to get this sorted out.
Phil Simi from Texas was tied up in there too.
Number 4 on the receiving team. Blow to the head. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, Texas.
Well, McDonald almost had the chance to make the interception, plays on special teams, and a personal foul will really back Texas up. So Arch Manning back against the goal line as he takes over, up 4 midway third quarter, 59 yards on that punt. Athletic trivia question answer. Good guess on the preseason #1 to lose to an unranked team. It wasn't Ohio State losing to Virginia Tech. The Hokies were ranked at that point. You got to go back to 85 Oklahoma.
Oh my God.
They lost to Miami in week 4. There was a guy named Troy Aikman who quarterbacked it. He got knocked out in that game. And a youngster named Jamel Holloway. Off the bench. They go and beat Penn State in the Orange Bowl, 11-1 national champions.
How great was Jamel Holloway and Charles Thompson era of OU option football with Coach Switzer? So much fun.
Manning under center from the 6. Hands off to Wisner. He picks up about 3. Obviously, you got the lead. Tempers are flaring here, so everything's escalated, but you got to be very careful, obviously, down here for Texas. They've avoided turnover so far.
Yeah, you got to be smart. I tell you, Sark has done a really good job with his prep and what he's come up with a game plan with Arch Manning and with this offense against this very talented defense. You know, both their scoring drives over 10 plays. They've been able to sustain drives and go over 70 yards, both the field goal and the touchdown.
Not easy against this top-ranked Oklahoma defense. Looking to throw on second down. Pressure comes. Ball is out, and the catch is made by Mosley. He couldn't hold it. Actually, arriving was Cortland Guillory, the third corner, the true freshman, to knock it loose. So now it's third down.
And I think that contact actually by the true freshman got that ball out, because I was with you. I was thinking, oh, that's a nice conversion. Good effort to be able to extend to get it. And then at the contact, right when Fuller comes up with that right hand, he knocks it out. That's a true freshman making a play against a veteran out on an island to bring up this third down. Great play by Guillory.
Manning trying to get folks organized here. Some confusion on the formation. And his goal line now rotating back into the end zone. Long throw on a dime. Catch made by Parker Livingston. Wow, what a throw.
And that's against man coverage. Oklahoma bracketing Arch Manning with these 2 linebackers just in case he gets out. There's Marvin Jones, 97, so he's got to fling it. How about the throw? Everybody talking about Arch Manning. You make that throw right there on third down against man coverage to your roommate. That's big time, especially where the line of scrimmage was. You're looking at a huge advantage for Oklahoma if you don't convert there with field position.
Now a first down run for Wisner. Remember that play if Texas is able to hold on. Holly?
Well, we had a great conversation with Arch Manning this week after a disappointing loss, and I asked him, you know, what do you have to do better? He said, first of all, I have to get rid of the ball. I felt like I let my offensive line down holding it too long. He said, I also have to find that joy and practice better, play better. It's more fun when you're having fun. We asked him what is his why. Why is he out here other than the family lineage? He said, I like winning. I'm really competitive, and it's going to come. I know it is. It's just a matter of time. He was super positive and optimistic this week.
It started by being a tough guy in the practice field. Manning on the move, long throw, throws it away. He was beaten up, very sore from all those shots the Gators gave him. Sark said did not miss a single rep in practice, which is perhaps a little unusual in that situation, and he impressed his teammates with that.
I think the most impressive thing to me is he didn't create these expectations. His last name created it. And he is a very humble, hardworking guy. And I think the greatest thing is, she just talked about the offensive line issues or maybe the backs and the injuries. You never hear any excuse from Arch Manning. Just enduring, weathering the storm. And we know eventually it's going to come, right? But I think it's been impressive. I think he's won his team over by how he's handled himself during this adversity.
Needs 7 on this third down. Sooners bring some pressure. Manning to Wisner. Can he make a man miss? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Wisner off and running, directing blockers downfield. He is a special player. You want yards after the catch? He gave them.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you what, it's another time by Robert Spears-Jennings, who's got to do a better job here of being able to come up and help out. That's a lot of space. You better come up there a little bit quicker, come in under control, because against Weisner, once you make that mistake and miss that open field tackle, he's loose. And guys got their backs to him, and he is so dangerous. So if there's one guy offensively that's having a game, getting some momentum, I think it's Trey Weisner, running the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield. That's 6 straight third down conversions for Arch in the Texas offense.
And that's 6 for 6 after halftime. It was a first down run. And Weisner hammers ahead. Sometimes X's O's schemes. It comes down to man versus man, and they just couldn't get him to the ground in that situation.
You're dead on, especially in a rivalry game, right? I tell you, the offensive line, the much maligned offensive line, starting that true freshman Nick Brooks at left guard, doing a pretty good job, starting to kind of lean on OU.
They feed Weisner again. It's a little momentum downhill, but Dominic Williams stopped him. It's going to be another third down. They'll need 2 here.
Go back to that scramble third down throw that you said don't forget about, because not only does it get this drive started, it changes. You maintain field position and possession of the ball. Now they're across midfield, but without that throw, this drive is over, and OU has the football in probably Texas field position.
They spell Weisner with Jarrett Gibson, who's a tough downhill runner, makes some big plays in the stretch run for Texas. But Manning's going to take off, pulls it, and slides after he gains first down yardage at the 35.
Really affecting the eyes there. I know Coop Manning is fired up to see that. A lot of movement in the backfield. Slowed those linebackers down from free-flowing to the football.
Ellen is #1 fan with a fan on her face. That time Oklahoma swarms. And Taylor Wine grabs Gibson. It's a 3-yard loss.
Taylor Wine is having a great game, keeping the edge against this run game. Big dude, 6'4", 275 pounds.
Shows the depth on this Oklahoma offense. He's a third-year player backing up Marvin Jones. R. Mason Thomas gets all the hype, but as you said, Wine having a big game in Dallas. 2nd and 13. Pitch to the edge. Niblett is going to be trapped. Could not get any space. Reggie Powers closed him down. So 2 losses after Texas had moved it into Oklahoma territory.
That's a much better job. Remember, we've seen Robert Spears-Jennings, who's a leader back there, miss a few tackles this time because he pulled the trigger quick. Reggie Powers makes a good play this time in space. How many times have we seen that check down? 1 missed tackle, you got another 10 or 15 yards. Not that time. Former Centerville Elk makes a heck of a play there in the open space.
Livingston had made that third down catch early in the drive, left the game. He's back out there now. 3rd and 19. Oklahoma comes after Manning again, who delivers a strike. It's going to be Wingo short of the first down, but at the 30, they've moved into field goal range.
Boy, what a good job in field that time by Arch, just to give themselves a shot there. Gets into field goal range, but the pocket presence, climbs the pocket, gets away from the bull rush of David Stone, and then keeps the eyes downfield to be able to make that throw to Wingo.
Shipley, who was 5 for 5 coming in, 1 for 2 today. This from 48 yards to stretch the Texas lead to 7. And he is true. And Texas, 65-yard drive after being backed up. Kirk could have ended very early. They come away with 3.
Yeah, a 65-yard drive. The other 2 over 70. Like you say, tough to do. Usually you move the ball. Look how fired up Arch is. Usually to move the ball against Brent Venables, it's a couple explosives, some big plays. It's tough to sustain those drives, but Sark and Arch are doing it today.
These guys did meet back in the 97 Cotton Bowl. Brent Venables, Kansas State assisted there, and BYU quarterback Steve Sarkisian. This was a low-scoring game, but a big touchdown throw late in the game. And then another one, and what's the Sark celebration here?
Seeing Sark in that uni takes me back to you and I down in Orlando, the Home Depot Awards show. Pat Fitzgerald, Sark, you and I hanging out. Grant Whitstrom,
Arch Manning's uncle, Eli was in the mix. Those are the days.
Good old days.
Yeah. Then they put cameras on phones,
and we shut her down.
What a third quarter! Texas has owned it, scoring 10 points, and now Oklahoma, after feeling they had control of this game the first 30 minutes, has some work to do. Now this long, exciting day of SEC football continues in prime time. Georgia Bulldogs will visit the Plains. Auburn, Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, Molly McGrath working that game. The ESPN app has it as well.
All right, John Mateer in Oklahoma. Third quarter's been rough. Haven't had the ball much. 5 yards on 3 snaps in the third quarter.
And nearly an interception, almost third pick to McDonald.
Time to respond. I mean, John Mateer is probably one of the most competitive quarterbacks in the country, up against a very determined Texas defense.
Short throw, squeezed it in there to Burks. Now, made a gamble trying to make the play there and whiffed on it, so Burks able to get 21 yards.
Yeah, that was McDonald, Jelani McDonald. He does take a chance. Instead of just making the short tackle, he kind of goes for the football. It's a big risk against Burks, who's known to be explosive with the ball in his hands after the catch. He showed it there.
He's been the main weapon in the passing game today for Oklahoma with 5 catches. We head to the final quarter. Red River Rivalry 1-21. Back after this message, and we're your local ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC. The quarter in Dallas. You're watching the SEC on ABC as unranked 2-loss Texas tries to spoil the perfect record of their arch rival, but Oklahoma with good field position here. First down from the 46. Mateer on the move, and that will just take off and cut back. He didn't dive out of bounds, cut it back up inside of Ethan Burke. Picks up about 5.
Yeah, everything covered downfield, so he does what he does naturally and uses the legs to get some positive yards. Okay, this Texas defense has played lights out against Mateer and OU.
201 total yards allowed through 3 quarters. Robinson plows forward into heavy traffic. It'll be 3rd and 2. Holly?
Well, guys, one of the unique elements of this game is the way the sun is. Oklahoma on the far side has been in the sun the entire game, and I frankly gave up on that sideline. It's about 10 degrees hotter over there. I thought I was going to die, and I've just seen a lot of guys jogging on and off. It's hot. These guys are starting to lose some steam. I think it plays a factor in the fourth quarter.
You waited this long to make that executive decision? You are a gamer.
I gave it my best.
I would have been right over here in the first quarter.
She gets knocked down twice. She braves the heat. Here's Mateer taking off. Excellent play design. Flag way behind the play as Mateer scoots down inside the 15, but will it come back? That was well designed. Mateer with an escort and no Longhorns in the neighborhood.
I think there's going to be a hold here from Oklahoma.
It was a 33-yard gain.
On the offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
And they got Carson Kent, the tight end, extremely costly.
Yeah, he's right here. Anytime you get to the edge, you always wonder, was there a hold there? And there was on Ethan Burke. I wondered why he get out there so easy. And the hold there by the tight end.
That look explains it.
That explains it. He didn't even need the escort that he had in front of him.
Instead of 33 in scoring position, now it's 3rd and 12. What can Mateer produce here? And will Texas heat up? They do bring late pressure. Pocket closes down, and it's intercepted off the deflection. The ball is picked off by Grayson Littleton. The 3rd pick Mateer is thrown, and again a heavy pass rush plays a part.
You're right about that pass rush. He felt it, Chris. He got it out. Here's the AT&T connected clicker. Here's the young man that makes the interception. There's the blitz that Chris talked about. So he's got to get the ball out. He sees it, reads it, throws the ball behind him. You wonder if he's expecting him to kind of settle right there. Instead, it's behind, off the fingertips, and Mateer's thrown his 3rd interception on the afternoon. What a play by the true freshman, Littleton, to see that tip ball and adjust back to make the catch to come up with his turnover.
Sometimes it's an unheralded freshman that can make a huge play in a rivalry like this. It's his 2nd pick of the season. He plays that star position. Kind of a hybrid, and now Manning and Texas a chance to really deliver a blow, and Wisner, a 1st down run, picks up about 5.
Well, Texas looks so different with a healthy Wisner. I mean, there've been some pretty good blocks, but there's also been some pretty good effort by this guy. Remember, he's had a hammy, and you can see by the way he clapped. You know how finicky hamstrings can be, and how, you know, you're out for 3 weeks. It just takes the smallest thing to maybe retweak it.
Big shot delivered by David Stone coming in from the left of your picture, right into the ribs for Wisner. Kirk, 18 rushes. He's also caught and run with 5 passes, so they've used him and relied on him heavily.
But anytime a guy goes down, he starts with a history of injury. He's limping off. You just wonder how he's going to hold up. Hopefully he'll come back.
James Simon, can he step up? Well, runs right into a couple of Oklahoma defenders. Marvin Jones drops him a yard behind the line.
Yeah, he's on the edge here and really just gets underneath the tight end that's coming around. Watch 81. Goes a little wide. It allows him to get underneath that. Wisner back. I think that's Wisner back in. Yeah. Oh, no, that's Clark. That's Clark. Wisner's still on the sideline.
Clark, number 6. They'll rotate a bunch of guys against C.J. Baxter. Can't go today. Wisner just getting back healthy. Our Mason Thomas, the pass rusher, standing up. They get it to the edge quickly to Wingo, and Wingo able to elude traffic. Picks up about 7. Excuse me, 4. So it's going to set up 4th down and 4 now.
By the way, incredible effort by David Stone, 0, to make that play. If he doesn't have a hustle play and chase that down from behind, that's a 1st down.
Not sending out Shipley for what would be a 54-yard attempt to make it a 2-score game. Certainly showed he has the range, but the offense on the field trying to keep this drive going. And Wisner is back in the game now. Manning maybe just trying to draw him offside. Yeah, the play clock was winding down, and they spend a timeout here. It's an interesting decision he can make right here. Your kicker's shown he's got the range. Doinked it off the upright from 55. This would be about a 54-yarder. Big difference between a 10-point lead and a 1-touchdown lead.
No doubt, especially the way your defense is playing. Be surprised if they don't give him a shot here. I mean, you almost feel like Texas's defense came into this game tired of hearing about how great Brent Venables and Oklahoma defense is. Kind of backed into a corner with their first conference loss last week in Gainesville. And I think as a unit, the collective showed up with a chip on their shoulder where they played today.
They got tired of hearing how bad they were. As the Florida team just took them apart.
They took them apart, especially at the line of scrimmage.
So they will send out Mason Shipley, who's had a terrific season since transferring over from Texas State. Officially, it's going to be a 56-yarder. No wind on this hot, calm day. High snap is put down nicely. Shipley drives it, but doesn't have the distance this time. So it came up a little short from 56. Had plenty of leg from this range early. And Texas lead is still 7 as Oklahoma will take over at about the 37. 11.5 to play. Still a 1-score game in Big D. View from the Sky brought to you by Goodyear. Still, always, forever game ready. Texas and Oklahoma vying for the Taco Bell Live My Student Section of the Year contest. Oklahoma fans, south end of the stadium, hoping the Sooners can drive down their direction. Blaylock on the edge. Flags flying everywhere. Was that another one of those point of attack fouls?
Yeah, it's Kanik, 12. Yep. Get it to the edge. How'd you do it? Kanik this time instead of the offensive lineman. Again, behind the sticks.
Penalties, Kirk, a bigger factor for Texas in the first half.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Bigger problem for Oklahoma in the second half.
Yeah, we got a Texas player down right around midfield. You know, with that heat that Holly talked about, the way this game has gone, it starts to become, you know, which guys are going to be able to hold up. It's Gilba.
Yeah, early on, Oklahoma had the ball, ran a lot of plays. Lately, it's been Texas controlling the tempo. We'll step aside.
SEC on ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule.
All-State bus piloted by Sam Mitchell in Dallas. What's the All-State good hands play this weekend?
Well, I think we're going to look at this game and the way this Texas defense has been able to step up against John Mateer. He's put the ball up. Malik Muhammad had one before the half, able to almost call a fair catch on that one. And then we saw the freshman Littleton step up after that tip ball to come up with the third interception. So the secondary showing very good hands for Texas.
Good news for Oklahoma. Texas didn't score any points off those 3 interceptions. One at the end of the half, obviously, but the other 2 resulted in missed field goals. Mateer looked like he was going to run, then threw on the perimeter late to Torrey Blaylock, and that's a live ball. They're not signaling it incomplete. Michael Taft chases it down, and what they do is they rule it a live ball and then go back and review it.
I don't know if it stayed in bounds. It looked like a lateral to me, but the question is, did that ball go out of bounds, or did a Texas player step out of bounds while he was touching the ball?
Pass.
Yeah, it's a lateral, but the ball in question, does it stay in bounds?
The Texas player touched the ball while standing out of bounds. Therefore, the ball is out of bounds at this spot. Will be Oklahoma's ball. Second down.
Yeah, there it is. Great look at it. Officials all over it on the field. Didn't need replay. You could see his left foot was out of bounds when he made contact with the football.
Yeah, Taft was thinking scoop and score. As it is, it's a loss of 12. But that was a late decision by Mateer. Again, the thumb's one thing, but he hasn't played football in 3 weeks. And
hadn't been the same.
That could have been disastrous for Oklahoma. Blaylock up the gut, picks his way, gets chunk of the yards back, but after 2nd and 31, it's still tough. He picked up 9 there. You need 22 on 3rd down, Kirk.
Just want to reiterate that I think you and I agree, and anybody watching, you talk about Mateer, I mean, what a story he was and the thumb, but to me, this has more to do with Texas and their defense and their preparation and the way they're playing at the line of scrimmage and on the back end than what John Mateer is doing with that thumb.
I agree, preparation and motivation. You're right, they have been challenged. Florida 7 yards of play against them last week. Now on 3rd and 22, Mateer takes a big shot, puts the ball in harm's way, and it falls harmlessly to the grass. Oklahoma sideline pleading for a flag. There isn't one. Kobe Black and Kanu. Heavy pressure again on the quarterback.
Chris, Kanu to me makes an unbelievable play here for a big man. Watch him contain Mateer and then lower the boom on him. Mateer wanted to get outside of him, but he just could not get outside of a 300-pounder. That's why he just had to throw it up again. Just threw it up into traffic. We've seen that a lot today.
Kanu is born in Germany. He's one of 5 portal additions this year at the defensive tackle position. They went heavy in that area. Came over from Ohio State. Niblett, who carefully fields this one, has some room. Ryan Niblett weaving, still running down the sideline. Niblett all the way to the house. 75, no flags. speedy sophomore out of Houston. Very versatile guy. They use him in a number of ways on offense, and a dangerous kick and punt returner.
Yeah, a low punt. He put it right where you want to put it, near the sideline, but he didn't get it up in the air. Niblett had such great instincts. And I'll tell you, Texas did a heck of a job of not pushing anybody in the back, almost setting screens for blocks. DeAndre Moore, to me, made the best decision of anybody. You'll see him. Watch this effort right here by Moore not to get involved. Just kind of setting screens, not blocking anybody. And now something always crazy happens in this game. There's always a play that we're going to be talking about for a long time. You wonder when it's coming. And up 7, we may have just seen it.
20 unanswered points for Texas after Oklahoma took a 6-3 lead. And that is a gut punch for the Sooners. I mean, the way this Texas defense is playing, the way they've struggled to generate really anything, to be down 14 in the final 10 minutes, going to take a little Sooner magic, frankly.
That's what you dream about.
Heroic celebration.
That's what you dream about. If you're an Oklahoma fan, there's one, going back, watching that, there's so much excitement. There was one block that made you go,
I love you said something you don't usually say, and a great effort to not get involved.
right, exactly.
Awesome job staying out of the way.
Well, he set a screen.
That kick sails out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty and set Oklahoma up. 40.
Free kick out of bounds. Number 15 on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
There was one play right here by Vasic that made you go, They're kind of collisioning near the end, right there. Right at that last cut. It's a clear push into the back, but so that easily could have been called and brought back. But there were so many other blocks that we saw that were good. But that's clearly a block in the back that is a no call.
Check with Bill Lamagna, see if he agrees. Got a suit and tie on down there, ready to go.
Block in the back. It should have been called.
Jeff Banks is the special teams coach for Texas, fired up.
Love that intensity.
Now you got to have some urgency here. The Sooners have struggled to make downfield plays, and there's one nice strike across the middle, and catch made for 17 yards by Jahani Gibson.
And Gibson came out of spring as their top receiver. Has been dealing with some injuries, obviously, near the end. Broken leg in April, working his way back, but dynamic.
Perfect play to get the drive going. Now they go underneath to Robinson, who's not easy to bring down. They finally do grab him, but he's got another first down quickly. They're at the Texas 36.
Hasn't been a pretty day for Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer. But remember, this offense is built for these kind of situations, to go fast and to score quickly. Tons of time down 2 possessions with this kind of offense if they can ignite, which we've not seen yet this game.
Texas spending time getting subs on, as Oklahoma did that earlier. So Longhorns trying to reset here on their heels suddenly.
We had an injury there to Robinson. That's why he had to go off the field, and that's allowed Texas to be able to make those substitutions and work some clock.
Remember, the Texas 2 starting corners not in the game right now. Muhammad and Gilbo both being treated for injuries. Mateer's got a whole lot of room, and he will wisely scoot out of bounds, a little bit short of the marker at the 27. That's a big deal to have those 2 corners not in the game now for Texas.
Yeah, it really is. Muhammad already has the 2 interceptions, so Warren Robertson is on one side. Actually, he's now back. Good to see him back. I think they may be sensing the same urgency that you and I are sensing up here on this drive.
They just came back on the field.
Gilbo in on the other side, too, into the boundary.
Play fake on 2nd and 1. Mateer pitches wide, and catch is made by Jermichael Carter. Big hit right away. Nothing there as Manny Muhammad right back in the game, making an impact play.
Muhammad having a big game. They missed him last week in Gainesville. Physical guy. We've seen the 2 picks. That time, nice job there on just making a tackle in space.
3rd and 2. Mateer slowing things down now to make sure he's got the play call. You can tell the noise is having an impact.
Obviously 4-down territory, but they'd love to get it right here. Texas going to crank up the heat here.
Handed off to Blaylock. Falls forward. 1st down, Oklahoma. They're inside of 7.5 to go.
That's not an easy thing for this offense to do. Be able to pick up 1st down yardage on the ground. They have had another tough day running the football. Only 68 yards on the ground.
3-man rush. Mateer has time. Zips it across the middle. Almost his 4th interception. A couple different Longhorns had a chance at that, Kirk.
Yeah, I think when you see a throw like that, you know, it's either miscommunication or it's just him predetermining where to go with the ball. It's another time where he and Satania, who's his go-to guy, just not on the same page. Satania, he kind of stopped on the route and picked it up, but he threw it right into traffic. As you said, 2 or 3 different Longhorns right there in that throwing lane. Where is Jaron Kanik?
Mateer trying to find anybody, but he's knocked down. Sacked for a 2nd time. Michael Taff on the safety blitz got him. Such aggression from Kwiatkowski in this defense in the 2nd half, Kirk.
They've been doing it, and we've not seen this kind of aggression all year. Taft did a good job of disguising it. They walked their 2 middle linebackers up. Kind of that mug look to make the offensive line think they're coming. Snap of the ball. Those 2 drop out. Pressure comes from where the lineman probably didn't even pick it up or see it from Taft.
3rd and 20. Mateer pressured again. Sacked again. That Longhorn defense. Colin Simmons this time swarming the quarterback. Killing another drive, perhaps 4th and 22 now.
Fasui at the left tackle spot, just beaten. No blitzing, no games, no trickery. Just Colin Simmons being one of the top pass rushers, going after Fasui, who lost the edge there, and pocket just collapsed onto Mateer.
Yeah, no time, no chance, no anything. That what he got on 4th and 22. Sooners down 2 scores. Desperately need it. Mateer trying to buy some time, runs out of it, and it's incomplete. Over the head of Kanik. He was looking back in the sun, but that was a high throw. And Texas, after Oklahoma had quickly moved into position, responded with a heavy pass rush.
You knew this Texas team was going to show up after a loss against Florida in a bad mood. An angry football team took the field today here in Dallas. Kenneth could never see that football. Wouldn't have mattered if he could. Texas defense once again does the job.
Oklahoma kicked a field goal, led 6-3 to 5 possessions since then. Kirk, interception, punt, and that turnover on downs. And now Texas up 2 scores, just trying to grind away and secure her first SEC win. Weisner back. He's been tireless today and very tough. Carries it for the 19th time.
Boy, he has been like I said earlier, just a difference when he's healthy, which they've not seen a lot of this year. But when he's healthy, this offensive line, it's amazing how this offensive line with 4 new starters goes from what's wrong with these guys to Weisner looks like Weisner should look, and all of a sudden they're opening up holes better, a little bit better pass protection for Arch.
It was a rough start to this game for the offensive line, but boy, they have established themselves in the last 3 quarters. End around, Weisner still has the energy and the strength to break out of a tackle there. Picks up a few. Holly?
Well, guys, I talked to Quintravious Weisner this week, and he said this game means a lot to him. It's his 3rd Red River Rivalry. He grew up in Glen Heights, DeSoto, Texas, and he's got a ton of friends and family here. But he said the key for his game was going to be toughness. He said he grew up playing basketball his whole life to his senior year, and he was the smallest guy. And he said, I learned I had to be the toughest or I'd never get the ball. He's showing us that toughness here today. Back healthy, he's running tough in a game that means a lot to him.
Yeah, Holly, he sure is. I mean, not only is he breaking tackles and running tough and giving this offense a spark, but I think what you're alluding to, the toughness that he learned, sounds like growing up being the small guy playing hoops. Man, it has been on full display this entire game. Not to mention guys dealing with an injury that kept him out the first two. He got hurt against Ohio State, tried to come back last week. Hadn't been 100%, but man, he's got a little spring in his stride tonight, and has really helped this offense out and continues to show that toughness that you're talking about.
Averaging almost 5 yards a carry. That's about a yard better than he had been averaging. Tough sledding earlier this season coming in. Manning's got the edge. He's got a crease. Arch Manning gallops and then slides at the 25. And he waves goodbye, I would assume, to the folks in crimson. Picked up 29.
Once you saw that in, Marvin Jones claps down. It's great. This is the wrinkle you haven't seen in Texas's offense, that Arch Manning, not only the sophistication of Sark, but once in a while, reminds me of like Andrew Luck at Stanford. Once in a while, they would just sprinkle it in just enough with David Shaw in that offense. And that's what you see with Sark now with Arch. Just enough. There's the wave. Just at the right time, you pull that. Defense not expecting it. Huge yards.
Just at the right time is kind of a theme. Handoff Weiser. Just at the right time, Texas responds to all the negativity, all the criticism, which was justified, frankly. Ohio State's one thing, and the Gators are a talented team, but they didn't play well in any facet. They come back with urgency, challenged by Sarkisian, who says, now we are the hunter, no longer the hunted. And this guy, Kurt, in this game, with what this rivalry means, chance to completely re-script the narrative about his first full season as a starter.
All quarterbacks at this level go through being scrutinized. This is unprecedented, what I think Arch Manning's had to deal with his uncles and the last name and his grandfather. He didn't ask for this, but I'll tell you what he's shown is a lot of toughness. We talk about Weisner showing toughness. How about Arch Manning between the ears, having to deal with toughness with everybody ridiculing him? This guy, he's not any good. Like everywhere you go. And as much as he tries to not hear it, you're human.
Yeah.
You hear it. But I think if I were his dad, I'd be so proud of the way he's handled it. And like I said earlier, his teammates see that and appreciate his approach. No pointing the finger, taking it, even when maybe he didn't deserve it. He took it.
So Keishan told Manning for the year, listen, you're not a quarterback until you've been booed. That happened pretty early in the season, more than once. But he also told him this week, listen, I need you now. You got to step up and be a leader. I know you don't think you're playing well enough to be one of the bigger voices in this team, but you're quarterback, and you have to step up right now. And he's shown that, I think, this week.
That's a great way how hard it is to be that guy when there's a tornado swirling around you and you're being asked to be the leader. This is what he's done today. This is the throw of the game, maybe the throw of the year, when you consider what was at stake there in a close game on 3rd and 7. And it almost like his body language has changed throughout this game. You know, I think the confidence when you play your rival and you make plays and you win a football game, especially off a loss, that can change things. As far as confidence, anything you do in life, it's about confidence.
Coop and Ellen enjoying the moment.
Yeah, they should.
You know, you talk about the intensity of this rivalry. I talked to Colt McCoy earlier. He's been counseling Arch lately. And, you know, McCoy obviously has been through this. Much the same way that Baker Mayfield counseled Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma last year about it. And just get out of your own head.
Yeah.
You're plenty talented. You know you've done the work. Just get out of your own head and play football. I'd say he's played football today. 3rd and 11 as he's ready to keep the drive going here. And they cut it back inside. And that's Niblett who had the big punt return. I told you he's versatile. He pitched it to him there. And
with all that being said, you still got to come back to what Sark did to get his team to bounce back after that loss last week. He's been dealing with a lot of noise himself. You imagine starting, they lose today, 0-2.
Yeah.
How do you keep it together with the expectations preseason #1? They were backed into a corner today, all fresh off of that loss, and did a heck of a job getting Arch ready and getting this defense ready with the 3 takeaways and only allowing 6 points so far.
So here's Shipley for his 5th attempt. He's been perfect inside of 55 yards today. And this one's knocked through, and that makes it a 3-score game. Yeah, it was interesting. Sarkisian says, I said, how are you doing, man? I'm great. What a cool opportunity this week. And he started, I thought, I know you're a good salesman. But he actually knows what he's doing. I said, I don't know how these coaches.
I think he knew. I think because I talked with him as well. I think he knew he had an angry team. Coaches love, even though maybe what got you there to become angry isn't always good, but he saw how practice went. They said this is by far the most physical practice that they've had all year long, getting ready for this game. And, man, give the guy credit for getting his team ready to play. Playing the number 16, unranked Texas off a loss against Florida, and they showed up with that chip on their shoulder, and it pays off for them.
They'll pop back in the rankings, but more importantly, you got to remember, it's week to week, especially in the SEC. So this is awesome for Texas. We'll get them to 4-2, 1-1 in the SEC. They got 2 road games coming up. They're in the middle of a stretch, by the way. They play 1 home game within a 42-day span. It's a kind of a bizarre schedule. This officially counts as a home game, but they don't play in Austin for once in 42 days. At Kentucky, at Mississippi State, Vandy at home. That's the next home game, November 1st.
That's a big one.
And then they have to go to Athens, Georgia. They get a bye before that game. And they finish it out at home against Arkansas and A&M the Friday after Thanksgiving. But a long way to go is our point. And Oklahoma will take a hit, fall out of this top 10 with their first loss.
Boy, Ole Miss messing around today, able to get it done against Washington State. You see Oregon down to Indiana.
Wow.
Alabama had a scare on the road against Columbia on an early kick. You thought you knew that with a 3rd week in a row Bama would be testing. What didn't show up there is the Northwestern Wildcats beat Penn State 22-21. What the heck is going on? What in the world is going on around here?
The rankings, by the way, I got to get you that note. Wow. So the double overtime loss to Oregon. Then they lose to UCLA. And now Northwestern at home?
UCLA.
UCLA,
by the way, they went to East Lansing and won.
That wasn't a one-hit wonder.
Jerry Newhousel's, he got Nico going. There's Kanik.
Kanik makes the play over there. And so if you're Oklahoma, you come back down to earth a little bit. It stings to lose to your rival. The good news is Mateer apparently is going to be able to play through this, but the schedule is absolutely punishing. Off the hands, and it falls to the ground there. Oklahoma, most difficult remaining schedule in the FBS. Next up, visit the Gamecocks. Ole Miss at home, Kurt. At Tennessee.
What?
At Alabama.
Look at that. Where's the break?
No.
No breaks.
No breaks. Breaks were early. They had a manageable non-conference schedule.
I will say this. 5-1 now with that schedule. This is a disappointing day, but everything in front of them with that schedule.
Mateer has knocked down again. He's been punished, harassed, hit, sacked for a 4th time. Simmons combining with Brad Spence.
And before they get ready for that schedule, they've got to figure out all the injuries on the offensive line. That's the biggest concern for Oklahoma moving.
Texas will keep possession of that coveted golden hat trophy. A lot of the guys have worn it very well over the years. And the Longhorns will have a chance to try that on soon. CFP National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Total team bracket will produce the champion down in Miami January 19th. Satania breaks free, gets out near midfield, and the team that was expected by many, they expected it of themselves to go 2 steps beyond the semifinals where they've been stopped the last 2 years. Texas looking very much like people thought they would look at the beginning of this season today.
Everybody, all that people talk about is, can they still go to the playoff? It's like, you know what? Let's just get a first down. When you're not ranked, let's just win a game. and then build it back up slowly. Technically, could they? Of course. But if they play like this on defense and the offensive line and Wisner stays healthy, they'll be anybody they play. They have a possibility of winning those football games. But let's not go there. Like, let's just, if you're Texas, who do you have next?
Go to Lexington. Go
to Lexington. Let's get a few first downs, make a few stops. Let's get to like December, late November. Start talking about that. Right now, you just win games.
You're asking CFP fans to be reasonable and patient, and you realize what you're doing, right? Good luck with that.
I know.
I mean, the passion for the sport's why we love it.
I know,
too.
absolutely. I think you and I just want to give a collective salute to Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator from Texas. We've been around with Pete for a long time, and he did such a good job coming off a disappointing loss where DJ Lagway and that group from Florida did a good job against his defense, and a week later this group looks like a completely different defense. Played with a chip on their shoulder, 4 sacks and 3 takeaways today.
It's here on third down, slings it, and it's broken up. Trying to make the catch with Satania, and Manny Muhammad delivered a blow. I talked to Pete, who was getting philosophical yesterday. He said, my first year I was defensive coordinator, 0-11, Montana State. So don't talk to me about tough times and trying to keep a team inspired. I mean,
well, that's why he's able to keep his cool after a tough loss like that. He's a grizzled veteran. Such a good fit in Austin with Sark on the offensive side and able to trust Pete on the defensive.
On fourth down, it's here. Scanning, still scanning. Look out, John. Pass rush is coming from behind. You better not slow down on the edge. Takes another big shot. That was Lance Jackson getting a bite of the apple there. Texas will take over. On this hot day in Dallas, it'll be fondly remembered by Longhorns fans. Goodyear bringing the sky coverage. Every legendary moment, still, always, and forever. Every chapter in this great rivalry, this is 121st, becomes a part of the lore for the winning side. And for Texas, they'll remember for a long time how this team was kicked around. It disappointed them, but they come in and they pretty comprehensively dominate Oklahoma for the last 2.5 quarters of this game. And Manning was 21 of 27, 166 and a touchdown. No interceptions, sacked just once. That's a big part of the story, and contributed as a runner at a 29-yard scamper here late in the game.
There's Michael Huff, the former Longhorn, holding it. Now works on the staff. Texas grew up today. It's a big day. If they end up having a magical year, we're obviously going to point back to this week and what they did today in this rivalry game. But they grew up, gained some confidence, and really helped him on the second half of the season.
I did it with Michael last night. He was proud to be able to present this golden hat. Red River belongs to Texas for the second consecutive year, knocking off their unbeaten arch rivals 23-6. Mutual respect continues between the offensive and defensive gurus. John Mateer returns, guts it out, but throws 3 interceptions. He was sacked 5 times and pressured countless more. Let's go to Holly.
Well, Coach Sarkisian, Kirk Herbstreit just said a line that I thought was important. He said, Texas just grew up today. What did you see from your team, the improvement?
Well, I think what we saw today was Texas fight. It was a gut check last week coming out of last week's game. Yeah, special gift. It was a gut check coming out of last week's game, and I commend our players and our staff for fighting through all the negativity, all the unbelievers in the world. We got a lot of work to do. We're 1-1 in conference play. There's a lot of work to do. This is a pretty good moment for our team.
You guys did show some toughness today, particularly from Q. I thought Wisner was just terrific today with his toughness. Arch had some moments of great runs, and your defense. How did your toughness show up?
Well, our defense was fantastic all day. We limited the explosive plays. We created turnovers. I thought offensively we took care of the ball. We imposed our will running the ball, and we hadn't run the ball very good last week. We came back and ran it today. Trey Wisner had a heck of a game.
Thank you so much, Coach.
They'll pass that golden hat around. Taff, number 16, has it now. Manning will take his turn. It was the bronze hat at one point in the 90s. They said bronze hat's not good enough. We got to make this a golden hat.
I love Sark getting everybody, get back, get back. This is a picture you put in your office. You know, this is one of those all-timers. That's awesome.
They'll go down and salute the Texas fans who have thoroughly enjoyed at least the last 3 quarters of this game. You can fix a lot of things and quiet the skeptics and regain your own mojo where you can beat a rival in a game this huge, this convincingly. And Manning ignites the cannon, kind of ignited this offense finally today.
And these are great shots. Love this. Again, this is why we love college football, right? These rivalry games, these kind of moments. The day for Trey Wisner.
Yet again, an unranked team beats a ranked team. The rankings have really meant nothing in this rivalry. The last half century, unranked teams have a better record than ranked teams head-to-head when they play. That's crazy if you think about it. Standing ovation in the north end of this stadium. The south end is emptied as the Texas will have bragging rights and the golden hat again for another year. Back to Holly with Arch.
Well, this was an interesting week for you, young man. How did you pull your mental health together and your performance together and your team together to get this one?
It was tough. I'm glad our team for coming together. Trey Wisner. Oh, that's me! It's all about him. I'm just proud of our team. I wish we could play like this every week going forward. It's going to be a fun season.
You said you wanted to bring some joy back. How does this feel for you right now?
I had a lot of fun. Our fans are great. This guy's great. We're having some fun tonight.
You were so tough out there. I know this game means a lot to you. How hard was it to get out there and run like that?
It's always hard, you know, knowing what's at stake, knowing that the defense knows you're going to run the ball and still been able to come out and execute at a high level. So, you know, I give all props to my teammates, man, my defense, the coaches, the O-line, the quarterback, everybody just coming in and doing their job.
Did they give you the team ball, young man?
Actually, Arch did. Arch
gave you that?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. See y'all.
128 total yards for Wisner.
It wasn't a day necessarily where there was a bunch of offense, but Wisner made the key plays. But the pressure is always going to be on Arch Manning. This is a throw of the day for him, where he finds his roommate Livingston. Just did enough. Just really managed the game. Followed the game plan of Sark, which was let's be patient, let's run the football, let's hit the underneath passes, and we get opportunities. Let's convert on third down. They ended up 9 of 16 on third down. And how great is that? To think where he's been to have that moment special.
You said that one football game can make a huge difference. You can change the direction of your season. You can reshape the narrative. And more importantly, forget the external static. If you're Arch Manning and these Texas players, you can regain your mojo. When you have a confident performance like this, when you do so well against an excellent defense, maybe all of a sudden you can play differently from then on.
And that's what I meant when I said that I think they grew up. I think the confidence really changed. And I think that's one of the ebbs and flows of college football, especially in 2025. When you lose a game, how you respond that next game. And now they're going to deal with everybody probably overreacting the other way. Oh, you guys are going to win out. And they just got to go back to work. Like I said, forget about everything except getting ready for Kentucky. But they play like that on both sides of the ball and special teams. They can play with anybody.
And now the opportunity for Oklahoma to bounce back from their first loss of the season and brace for a tough gauntlet ahead. The Sooners, far from finished, have a lot to look forward to. But today belongs to Texas. Wisner, Manning, and mostly that defense in burnt orange. Niblet with a play that'll be remembered for a long time in Red River. And it's Texas on top, 23-6. Thanks for joining us. Bill Bonnell produced the game. Jimmy Platt directed it. Our entire crew. We enjoyed bringing it to you. For Holly and Bill and Kirk, Chris saying so long from Big D. More SEC football coming up right now.